You're watching the ACC on ESPN. This afternoon in Clemson, South Carolina, a very important game as the Clemson Tigers are in search of a series victory over number 6, North Carolina. And we welcome you inside our broadcast booth here at Doug Kingsmore Stadium on the campus at Clemson University. With Gabby Sanchez, I'm Mike Farron. I don't know that this could be a more critical game than we have this afternoon. North Carolina could be in the top 5 with a win. Clemson desperately needs one to keep their regional hopes alive.
Yeah, kind of when you're looking at a season, for me, this is a must-win for Clemson. For UNC, not really so much. It would be nice if they're able to get the series victory. That probably will put them in the top 5. But for Clemson, if they lose this game, that puts them to 5-10 in ACC play. That's not going to be good for them. They need this one, especially to be able to say, hey, we did beat a top 10 team.
They split the first 2 games of this series. Gavin Gallagher is the biggest name in the North Carolina lineup. After a slow start, he's starting to heat up.
Yeah, but you know what? That's what Gavin Gallagher does. If you look at what his numbers were last year from April 3rd on, he basically hit 400. He's in that same trajectory now, and they're going to need that. He is a power back. Last year, 17 home runs. This year, he's sitting at 7, but when he gets hot, boy, he could carry a team.
On the flip side, Clemson is led by their pitching, and their guy today, Drew Titsworth, has really good stuff.
Boy, you look at Drew Titsworth's stuff, he's a guy that could be a Friday night starter. He has that type of ability, that fastball 92 to 94. We have seen it play up to 95, 96 as well. But he needs to be able to command both sides of the plate, and that's going to be key when you're watching him. Is he staying out of the middle part of the plate? If Drew Titsworth is able to do that, he's going to be able to go and basically dominate this lineup because of his stuff. He's got that good fastball, cutter, and slider. Again, commanding the corners is going to be key. He's got a low release angle with that fastball, and it rides it. Sometimes, though, he can't get it up to where he wants to get it up. That's when he leaves it over the heart of the plate. That's where the damage is happening.
For a big man, it's a really low release point, to your point, and that seems to be, that's the in vogue thing, right? Lower release, fastballs at the top of the strike zone, and if he gets it up, he gets chased. You can see he's in the strike zone a lot.
Yeah, I mean, only 8 walks, so he's going to be around the strike zone. The problem that I have seen is that when you kind of look at the heat map, boy, it's over the heart of the plate. You cannot do that in college baseball. The hitters are way too good now, 1 through 9. There's a lot of damage that can happen. He has given up 5 home runs, a couple on the fastball, a lot of majority of 2 on that breaking ball, on that slider. Why? Because since that fastball is playing up, that same release point happens with the slider, and that's where he has the ability to leave that pitch up and guys getting really good bat-to-ball contact on it. If he stays down in the zone with that fastball, with that sinker, it's almost like sinker slider working. He's going to be just fine. For me, that's what I would concentrate on for him. Sinker slider, don't worry about that fastball elevated until later on in the count. Once you get a guy into 2 strikes, just to kind of change eye level.
He will face a North Carolina lineup that is ahead of where they were offensively a season ago. You can see Owen Hull in the 5th spot. The transfer from George Mason, who is one of the leaders in the nation in runs scored a year ago. It is a balanced lineup. It is not one with a lot of power. They are 14th in the ACC in home runs as a group. But, Gabby, this is right about the point where the power started to tick up for last year's Tar Heel squad.
Yeah, it starts to get a little bit hotter, and all of a sudden the bats start to loosen up a little bit more, and the power starts to come out. Remember, too, we've seen this UNC lineup team for a couple years there with over 100 home runs, where 1 through 9 had guys that can power it out. Not the same type of style of team, but I will say this, 1 through 9, they've got guys that will make pitchers work and make it tough on defenses.
Friday night, Clemson won the opener, getting 15 strikeouts from their pitching staff. Aiden Canuck, terrific on the front end for Clemson. It left Scott Forbes very frustrated by his team's performance. You saw Eric Bakich there. There's Scott Forbes, the head coach at Carolina. And yesterday, a very hard-fought 14-inning win for North Carolina. 14 innings and a bunt with the bases loaded and 1 out is what ended up giving them the decisive runs after a comeback in the 9th inning. Titsworth ready. Jake Schaffner digs in. First pitch to the leadoff man is a strike, and we are underway. Schaffner, the transfer from North Dakota State, has had a terrific year at the top of the order for North Carolina. Does have a home run in this series as he takes a strike at the knees of the count 0-2.
And for me, that's where Titsworth needs to live. If he's able to live down with those pitches, with that slider, with that sinker, he's going to be just fine.
Here's the 0-2. Schaffner lines it into right field. A base hit. The leadoff man aboard for North Carolina. And that'll bring up Gavin Gallagher, who we highlighted in the open. Gallagher in his draft year. Very highly regarded freshman when he came to campus 2 years ago at North Carolina. His dad, a longtime coach, played and coached at Wake Forest. See, the number's a little bit modest right now, but as Gabby mentioned at the outset, this is about the time where last year he went off, and he has been a big game player for North Carolina. As he takes low 1-0. He was the most outstanding player in the Chapel Hill Regional as both a freshman and a sophomore. Playing second base this year, which is a new challenge. As Schaffner gets the lead from first. He is a threat to run. And he goes. The pitch is a ball. The throw down to second is not in time. A stolen base for Schaffner. The throw from Gerald just a touch late. And Carolina with a man in scoring position and nobody out in the top of the first.
And this is just Schaffner taking advantage of Titsworth. A little bit higher of a leg kick, so it's going to be slower delivery towards home. For me, Gerald got that ball out really quick to try to at least make it close. Because right when I saw Schaffner take off, I said, boy, he's got that base stolen easily. But Gerald with a very quick throw over to second.
It was a bang-bang play at second as Gallagher hits it in the air to left. Going back on it to the fence, and it's out of here. Gavin Gallagher with his 8th of a year, and North Carolina with a 2-0 lead. Gallagher jumping on that 2-0 pitch and driving it into the stands to give North Carolina the early advantage.
Well, we talked about it with Gavin Gallagher, right? All of a sudden, you get into April, the bats start to heat up, and boy, this is a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. And what are we talking about? Trying to stay down in the zone. This is an elevated fastball up, does a nice job of not trying to do too much. And that's the thing with Gavin Gallagher. He's got a lot of power in that bat. He doesn't try to have to hit a home run. Nice, easy swing, able to get underneath it and hit out to left center field.
2-0 North Carolina for Eric Paulson, the transfer from Stony Brook. The 1-0, he takes a strike. Count 1-1. Paulson, excellent defensive first baseman. He has power. There is more power in this Carolina lineup than we saw a year ago. But again, 14th in the league in homers to start the day. And he drives one deep to left center field. Clavon leaps, and he got it! Boy, did Bryce Clavon make that look smooth. What a catch, 1 out.
What a play by Clavon out there in center field. I mean, the way that he tracks this ball is well struck. 104 miles an hour off the bat, but he sees it all the way, gets to the fence, perfectly timed jump, and makes the play.
I don't know if that would have cleared the orange line at the top, but he managed to run up the terrace and take away the home run, and a very quick meeting on the mound. Eric Bakich running out to talk to Titsworth just now after the home run and the near home run.
I mean, what's crazy too is the injuries that Clemson has had. Right, they've had injuries all over the place. Oh,
Winslow hit by a pitch. That one sounded loud.
Like,
yeah, it got his. I think it's got
arm pad?
the Evo Shield guard that he had on his elbow. I think that's where the noise came from.
That was loud.
Here's what it sounds like. This is
just a loud thud. But getting back to it with Clavon, you got to remember Tristan McClatty was the starting center fielder on this Clemson team, and then he had to move over to third, and then he just finished getting hurt. And Clavon has been able to fill in at center, and you haven't missed a beat out there in center field.
So you get center fielder. Here's Owen Hall, who takes a strike. 0-1, the transfer from George Mason, mentioned at the outset. 4th in the nation in runs scored a year ago. Not much power, but pretty big RBI total. And just about won a game as he takes inside of the count 1-1. Carolina's offense will draw a fair amount of walks. They do not strike out very much, Gabby, but they have a little bit of chase to them. They will go outside the strike zone. The 1-1. Fouled away and count 1-2. And it was interesting talking to Scott Forbes today about their offense. I think having seen them a couple weeks ago against Louisville, their approach as a group is really good. But he was actually critical of them in RBI situations and saying that maybe they weren't trying to do enough, that they were being a little bit too selective.
What's funny is that he said, runners on third, less than 2 outs. The team average is right around that 400 mark, when it should be a lot higher than that. They've struggled with getting those runners in with less than 2 outs at third, but the opposite goes all of a sudden with 2 outs. We're really good. I mean, the team is doing a phenomenal job with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. So you do take the good with the bad. The bad is, less than 2 outs, not doing great, but with 2 outs, unbelievable.
Slap foul again by Hull. The count remains 1-2.
And you talk about that swing and miss. And for me, Drew Titsworth, like watching him, he's controlling the strike zone right now. Great. But all of a sudden, when you have that 0-2, 1-2 count, you got to be able to miss off the plate. You got to be able to throw pitches that look like a strike out of hand and get buried down. You can't just live in the heart of the plate.
Swing and a miss. He got Chase on the high fastball there for out number 2.
I want to see him expand that zone, right? Everything down, down, down. Let's go ahead and expand that zone up and out over the plate. Something to where you're changing eye level. You see a pitch, that's a ball if he doesn't swing. But that's what you need to do. You need to be able to work north and south. You need to be able to get something out of that strike zone to get the swing and miss.
2 outs for Colin Hynek, the transfer from Georgia State. As a throw over to first to Winslow's back. Hynek left Georgia State 9th all-time at home runs. He's the catcher today, with Macon Winslow having caught all 14 innings yesterday. I went upstairs at the count 1-0. So Winslow's been catching usually 2 out of 3 on the weekend. Hynek a very big personality. As he waits for the 1-0. Fouled away off to the right and out of play. And we talked about North Carolina's offense and how it's been, middle of the pack in runs scored, not a lot of power. Really, the story with Carolina usually is pitching. And for Scott Forbes' team, again, it is the top ERA staff in the ACC. And you're going to get to see another real quality arm in Folger Boaz today, making the start for them. That's a big reason why they have just 6 losses on the year. Bouncer towards the middle. It's Jay Dillard behind the bag who throws out Hynek, and the inning is over. But Carolina gets the lead on the 2-run homer from Kevin Gallagher. We into the bottom of the first. North Carolina 2, Clemson coming up. 2-0 North Carolina as we head to the bottom of the first. You see the Tigers lineup. Bunch of injuries have impacted them. It's given an opportunity to Jackson Moore. He was the difference of the game Friday against North Carolina.
It's fun when you look at a team and then all of a sudden you see a guy like Jackson Moore. Probably in the beginning of the year, not a guy that they were thinking that was going to be rolling out. But you work hard in practice. You go out there and you bust your tail. You show the coaches that you want to be out there. You get your opportunity and you start to come through. And guess what? Now the coach can't take you out of the lineup.
You see Moore there with Tristan McClatty to his right. We'll talk more about McClatty in a little bit. Folger Boaz makes the start for North Carolina. He is settled into that Sunday role. They are not getting a whole lot of length out of anybody in their rotation right now.
They're really not. They're going to need Folger Boaz, and we talked about a 14-inning ball game yesterday to see if he can, extend some innings here. But he's an east to west style pitcher. It's a good fastball too, 91 to 93 from the left side. He's able to work both sides of the plate with a couple different pitches.
First pitch outside to Bryce Clavon, ball one, Georgia transfer. Gabby mentioned earlier, with the injuries that Clemson has pushed Clavon into the lineup. They're going to start a couple weeks ago against Miami, but he has been pretty impressive as he hits it to the left side, and Schaffner will throw him out. Leadoff man gone in the Clemson first.
When you look at Folger Boaz and those style of pitches, it's a fastball that's going to have run away from righties into lefties. He also has a cutter and a slider that he likes to kind of come into the righties and away to the lefties. That's how he's able to work both sides of the plate. If you look at where he stands on the mound, it's on the whole entire right side, the first base side of the rubber. So he's basically telling you, I'm going to control that outside portion of the plate. That ball is going to run away from righties.
Nate Savoy takes a fastball strike. It's 0-1, the transfer from Loyola Marymount.
The good thing, though, is that he is able to get guys out and not have them kind of lean over the plate because of that cutter in and slider in.
He's ahead in the count, 0-2 on Savoy. Savoy's been the best player for Clemson this year from a position player standpoint. He was a first-team freshman All-American a year ago as an outfielder at Loyola Marymount, and second team as a catcher. I don't know how you get on both All-American teams at different positions, but that's the kind of year he had.
Well, you're really good at both of them. Just might as well put them in. You've earned it.
He certainly did. 11 home runs, second on the team this season. It is massive juice as he bounces it foul. The power in this lineup for Clemson.
It's coming from the catching position?
Yeah, it is. It's him and Jacob Gerald who's doing the catching today, as you see Eric Bakich. Clemson down towards the bottom of the league, 14th in runs per game this season. It's their pitching that has been the real story and has helped to keep them afloat through this 5-9 start in conference play. Savoy down on strikes, 2 outs. Here's how this series unfolded. Friday night, Clemson got a 9-5 victory. Aiden Canuck leading the way. 15 strikeouts, and there's Savoy, who hit one right to Dave White, our center field camera operator. Yesterday, Jacob Gerald gave Clemson an early lead, and then we played on and on and on. North Carolina scoring 2 in the 14th to win it after tying the game in the top of the 9th. The real story yesterday was Caden Glauber, the freshman reliever for Carolina, who continues a brilliant relief season. Jack Crichton grounds out to first, and Folger Boaz works a 1-2-3 first inning. 2-0 North Carolina as we head to the second.
today.
Drew Titsworth back to work after giving up a 2-run homer in the top of the first. The junior right-hander was slowed early this year, Gabby, by a lat issue and just kind of still working his way in. But to me, the number one pitch with him is that fastball. That's the most important.
Really, it's the fastball-sinker combo mix. That four-seam fastball, that's the one he wants to ride up in the zone. And then he has that sinker and slider which will tunnel off of each other. He does throw a cutter. He will throw a changeup as well. You won't see it as much. You're going to mostly see that sinker-slider with that four-seam ride.
First pitch to Tyler Howe is a strike. It's 0-1. Howe, freshman from Huntersville, North Carolina. He has been a regular starter on the corner in the outfield for Carolina this year. And he lines it foul, the count 0-2. But Titsworth was a really very good reliever for his first year and a half here at Clemson. He was one of their most trusted relief arms, and late last season they moved him into the rotation. The results haven't been quite as good. But one of the things that was interesting with what Eric Bakich did with his starters this year was, whether it was Titsworth or Aiden Canuck, who starts on Fridays, maybe a little less with Michael Sharman, their Saturday starter, they really slow played them early in the year. Fatigue was a major factor down the stretch for Clemson last season, as Howe just gets a piece. And he was trying to make sure that they were at their strongest when they need them the most, which is late in the year. Now, they've pitched very well as a group overall, but it feels like Titsworth is just starting to get to the point where he's going to take off.
It's tough. It's a tough situation to be in. For a head coach, understanding right now in these games, they absolutely matter. But all of a sudden, it really matters once you get into that regional and super regionals and hopefully into Omaha. And what he's seen the last couple of years is all of a sudden that pitching staff has been taxed early on. So how can you change that? Well, don't throw guys, early on in fall, or, let them kind of work progressively slower so that when the season starts, they're not at 100, you're able to still ramp up. Kind of like what you see in the big leagues with some major league starters. Maybe the pitch count first couple starts is at 80, 85, and it's not at that 100 and 105 level. Of course, there's a lot more games in the major leagues, but still, it's that concept of understanding, hey, the more important games are yet to come.
And I think that part of what gives them a little confidence in this is that knowing it's a long season is what happened in 2023 with this Clemson team. Now, that team started 2-8 in the ACC, and they ended up hosting. They won 20 league games as Howe pops it foul and out of play. This team, obviously, off to a slower start. 5-9 is not a record that they expected. Injuries, a major reason why. They are without 3 projected members of their lineup. Colin Priest did not take a plate appearance for them at all this season. Jaron Purify has been out of the lineup with a broken hand. Tristan McClatty was hit in the face last week at Stanford and is going to miss a couple weeks. And so he is Howe walks to lead off the second. So they have had to battle that on the position player side. But the plan, as far as I'm concerned, has worked pretty well for the pitching. And this is the deepest pitching staff I feel like Eric Bakich has had in his 4 years here at Clemson.
I would agree. You're seeing guys that are coming out of the pen with some electric stuff. You have starters that have the ability to go deep into ball games. So all in all, you know that you're going to be fine on the pitching side.
Runner goes. Pitches a ball, Gerald's throw, not in time, a stolen base for Howe.
This UNC team being very aggressive on the bases right now. And Howe right there just taking off quickly, not waiting along. Titsworth is probably about a 1-4 to home right now. They're taking advantage of that.
Here comes the 1-0 to Nicholson. Foul back. And the count 1-1. Nicholson, a transfer from Iowa Central Community College. Product of Dowling High School in Des Moines, which is one of the, well, probably the biggest sports power in the state of Iowa. Here comes the 1-1. Inside, and it hit him. I know somebody who goes to Cedar Rapids, Xavier, is probably going to disagree with me on that, but But North Carolina with a threat, 2 on, nobody out here in the first. Wednesday is Jackie Robinson Day, and we have a special ESPN telecast for you. The Mets and Dodgers finish their 3-game series. And Joe Buck, Ron Darling, and Oral Hershiser will be on the call. Coverage begins 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Carl Ravitch and the Baseball Tonight crew from Dodger Stadium. Shohei Ohtani is scheduled as the starter that night for the 2-time defending World Series champions. And a long, slow walk out to the mound for Jacob Jarrell here. North Carolina threatening against Titsworth in the second.
Yeah, and I like this one too. One, for a couple different reasons. Bunt situation play, right? Letting everybody know, hey, this is what we're doing. We're all together on this plan, whatever it might be. But also just to kind of get Drew Titsworth to calm down a little bit. Think about something else. Looks like they already have somebody warming up.
Yeah, Joe Allen getting loose.
This right here is Erik Bakich saying he understands what this game means. And you cannot let this game get away from you.
Listen, this is important for North Carolina today because they host Georgia Tech next week. Georgia Tech is, really, as the kids would say, an absolute wagon right now. Like, they are unstoppable. I think that's what I would. The kids probably said it 10 years ago, and that's why it's just getting to me. But this is a very important game for Clemson. As you pointed out, 5-9 in league. And in the first projections for the NCAA tournament from D1Baseball.com, Clemson was on the outside looking in. Now, they've hosted a regional the last 3 years. They hosted super regionals 2 years ago before losing to Florida. Missing regionals at Clemson is a big deal, so they understand the importance of this. The freshman from Miami, Jaden Nunez, showing bunt, throw behind the runner. So this is going to be managed a lot like a must-win game from Erik Bakich's standpoint.
It has to be. The last thing that you want to do is fall to 5-10 in league play. Doesn't mean that there's not room in games to make up. Just makes it really hard because of the competition in ACC play.
Nunez bunts it foul. The count 0-1. Nunez entered the game late yesterday and had a couple of plate appearances. He played a fair amount early in the year. Carolina the last 2 years has had a bit of a revolving door at the corners in the outfield. Howe has settled one of those spots, but they are still looking between Rom Kellis and Nunez and Carter Fridge. There's a lot of players that are getting opportunities. And I think Scott Forbes, you saw him there talking to Nunez, would like somebody to get hot and take that role down the stretch.
I'm interested to see there with Forbes and what he told Nunez. It doesn't look very comfortable trying to bunt. But I think he's trying to tell him, hey, just get that bat head out and get it down on the ground.
He stabs through it, and it's 0-2. I cannot imagine that growing up in Miami and Dade County.
He was bunting. No.
Yeah, that he was bunting very much.
The bunting happened when you go to UNC, probably were a third hitter on your high school team. You were not being asked to put down and lay down a bunt on any team that you were playing on.
0-2 the count to Nunez. The number 9 hitter waits in the pitch. He takes outside, the count 1-2. North Carolina trying to take control of this game very early on. There's Schaffner, who singled and scored the first run of the game, waiting in the on-deck circle. Let's get their lead at first and second, the set. The 1-2. Foul back. Nunez stays alive. Just underway on this gorgeous Sunday here in Clemson, South Carolina. A rubber match of this 3-game series. Here comes the 1-2. Called strike 3. Fastball painted on the outside corner for out number 1.
That's just a beautiful pitch by Titsworth. It's a four-seam fastball that he's able to throw right on that outside corner. To me, I thought it was a sinker that he was trying to backdoor. That one just brings it across the plate. Really good pitch after a couple pitches that he was throwing up and in. He was able to utilize that slider as well.
Shafter, a base hit to right and a stolen base before scoring on the Gallagher homer in the first. Throw back to second. Runner back easily. 2-0 North Carolina here in the second. Tigers get their lead at first and second. The set. Fouled away, off to the left and out of play.
That was that changeup. Doesn't throw it too much. He'll throw it against lefties, doesn't throw it against righties. He will utilize that pitch to lefties about 7% of the time. But for the most part, it's going to be sinkers and sliders.
You can see him working on that split finger grip there as he put it in his glove. And he gets a breaking ball strike on the corner. It's 0-2.
You can see him presetting the split. So usually what pitchers would do is they're going to always preset whatever the hardest pitch it is to grip. That way they don't have to try to dig in and find that grip later.
0-2 upstairs. Missed with the fastball that time and count 1-2. Interesting that he went changeup, breaking ball, then to the fastball. Seems like he's pitching backwards a little bit here the second time through the order.
Guys in scoring position as well. Remember the last time against Schaffner, he threw that fastball and he threw too many right in the zone, so trying to change it around a little bit.
Missed away, 2-2. He has not had great command of his fastball so far, but you can see, this is what you talked about at the outset, that low release and the way that fastball just takes off running through the zone.
It's when he throws that four-seam fastball to the top of the zone. There's a lot of run to it.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Backdoor breaking ball. And Schaffner swings through it. Back-to-back big strikeouts for Ditzworth. For 2 outs.
Needed some big pitches, and he came up with some big pitches. With first and second and no outs. Back-to-back strikeouts, just like you said. That slider, almost a backdoor slider. Top outside corner gets the swing and miss.
And now a chance for him to get out of it without any further damage as he faces Gavin Gallagher. Gallagher, a 2-run homer in the first. First pitch. He bounces it to the right side, gloved by the first baseman and underhanding to first. And Ditzworth covers, and he gets out of the first and second, nobody out jam. Through 1.5, North Carolina with a 2-0 lead. Two 2-0 North Carolina, bottom of the second. You see Folger Boas pitch selection this season. The left-hander, a junior now after missing the end of his freshman year in the first part of last year, coming back from Tommy John surgery. He was the Friday starter for Carolina for most of their Omaha season 2 years ago before an elbow injury. And he starts Gaffney with a strike. It's 0-1. Boas moved into that Friday role because Jake Knapp, last year's ACC Pitcher of the Year, missed the year after having Tommy John surgery just before opening day. And it was Boas and Jason DeCaro as freshmen that really settled down the rotation for North Carolina. His numbers weren't great as a freshman, but he has not really seemed to get back to that level as of yet, although his first inning was pretty crisp. Here comes the 0-2. Line foul, play off to the right.
The thing is for UNC and Forbes, like, you look at Boaz and you're like, that's not a Sunday starter. Like, he's got good stuff. It's a good fastball that he has good command of. He has a good cutter, good slider to go along with it.
That one lined to third and caught by Nicholson, 1 out.
And when you kind of look at the Jason Becaros and Friday nights who might even move to Saturday, like, there are so many things that this Carolina pitching staff can do. They're very good Friday, Saturday, Sunday starters. They've got good bullpen. It's their key. They know that if they're able to pitch and play defense, that they're going to be in most games. They're going to be able to win a lot of games.
Jacob Jarrell, the leading home run hitter on this Clemson team, fouls it away. It's 0-1. Jarrell cracked his 13th of the year yesterday in Clemson's 6-4 14-inning loss. Here comes the 0-1 to Jarrell. Inside, 1-1. I'm going to give you one more note on Boaz. This was super interesting. He is one of the greatest prep quarterbacks in the history of the state of North Carolina. And I realize that sounds hyperbolic as Jarrell sends it back through the middle for a 1-out single, first base runner for Clemson. But when you lead North Carolina historically in completion percentage, I think you can have that be the case, right? I mean, he's in the top 10 all time in total touchdowns. His brother was actually a backup quarterback in Carolina for a while.
It's a very nice swing by Jarrell, just taking this ball right back up the middle. It's Clemson started with their first hit of the ball game.
First pitch misses low to Tyler Lichtenberger. Started his collegiate career at App State. Here's the 1-0. A strike and the count evens at 1-1. Boaz facing a lefty here. It is a very right-handed lineup for Clemson. A hold in the 1-1, fouled away. And the count 1-2.
With Boaz on the mound, especially against lefties, he can actually use that fastball to the outside part of the plate. He doesn't like doing it against righties. If I'm going up against a Boaz and I'm hitting against him, one, I'm going to key in on the fastball. He's going to throw a bunch.
This is inside, 2-2.
Two, I'm going to look out over the plate. And I'm going to give him. You always have to give a pitcher some part of the plate. You can't cover all of it. So you have to either give him in or you have to give him away. I would be giving him in, and I'm going to be looking out over the plate for a mistake.
The 2-2. And the count goes full. And that's interesting you say that because he'll run the cutter in under the hands of righties. Against a lefty, right, that's where his two-seam fastball would be the most effective because it's going to run in on them. So
right.
You want out over the plate if you're a lefty. If you're a righty, you're still looking for that? You're not trying to cheat to that cutter?
I'm not trying to cheat to the cutter because that's going to be a tough pitch to hit no matter what. But the pitch that's out over the plate, that's going to be the easier one to hit.
Throw it to first and scrambling back is the runner.
A very good executed cutter that's into a righty, that's going to be tough to be able to get those hands in and drive it out to left. But he will make a mistake with that cutter out over the plate. That's the one that you have to be looking for.
Runner bluffs going and called strike 3. Best fastball of the game for Boaz at 94. 2 outs.
And we talk about outside looking fastball away. Well, look where that pitch is. That's exactly where you need to be keying in. But he does such a good job, especially because where he stands on the rubber to a lefty, of having these pitches run in. You start to think, well, I got to get the hands out. You get frozen on that outside fastball.
2 outs of the freshman Jason Fultz Jr. Throw over to first of the runner back. Fultz getting the start at third base today. He's had the most playing time of any of the freshmen on this Clemson roster. And in and out of the lineup. And injuries have really impacted Clemson on the position player side. That one fouled away. And the count 0-1. It has given opportunities to a few guys like Fultz, Jackson Moore in the on-deck circle. You mentioned Bryce Clavon earlier. And when they start to get guys back, probably for the Louisville series, they'll have both Jaron Purify and Tristan McClatty back. See how it benefits him in the last part of conference play. Liner up the alley in right center. Hull's got a beat on it. Can he get there? No. It bangs off the wall and bounces away. Gerald around third. He's going to be waved home. Clemson's on the board on the two-out opposite field double from the freshman Fultz. It's 2-1.
Oh, what a beautiful at-bat by Jason Fultz, the freshman. What is he looking for? A pitch out over the plate. Gets that fastball and drives it off the right center field wall. 104 miles an hour off the bat. You love to see Jacob Gerald and what he was able to do there. As soon as that ball got hit, he was off and running and scores from first.
Jackson Moore had a big day 2 days ago in the win over North Carolina as he takes a ball outside 1-0. Freshman moved into the lineup after the McClatty injury last weekend in their series win over Stanford. He certainly carries himself with a little bit of swagger at the plate. That would foul away 1-1. Maybe it's the leg raise that does it, but he does not look like a hitter who is lacking in confidence.
Maybe where he was born, something in the water. Some good players coming out.
Are you saying because he's from the same hometown as former Clemson star Cam Canarella?
I might be saying that. There might be something in the water, something we might have to be going over there to try to taste.
Nicholson with a tough play to throw out Moore, and the inning is over. Well, Gabby drinks from the fountain of youth. We'll see whether or not Carolina can tack on. They lead 2-1. Thanks. 2-1 North Carolina as we head to the third. Baseball next week. A big three-game series between number 3 Georgia Tech, number 6 North Carolina at Boshaber Stadium at Chapel Hill. Friday's game at 6 Eastern on ACC Network Extra. Weekend matinee matchups on ACC Network. Like everything else, all games available on the ESPN app. You see the EACC standings. And where these teams sit right now, Georgia Tech just swept number 5 Florida State in convincing fashion with a run rule victory yesterday. Florida State's offense has been impacted by the loss of their star first baseman Miles Bailey. Did not have much of an answer for Georgia Tech's pitching. And then yesterday the bats broke out for Tech, who is, if you've not watched Georgia Tech yet, you're going to want to tune in for that series next weekend because they are really good.
I mean, you talk about probably the best pitching in ACC going up against the best hitters and probably all of college baseball.
Eric Paulson dumps this one into left center field for a leadoff single in the Carolina third. That top ERA team in the conference coming in today in North Carolina, the top offense in the nation in runs per game, more than 11 runs per game for Georgia Tech. Here's what's incredible. Of the 8 players that Georgia Tech has that lead the team in plate appearances, 6 of them have walked more than they struck out.
It's ridiculous.
They're second in the nation in home runs.
And what, 8 out of 9 have an OPS over 1,000?
Yeah, well, 9 of their top 10 guys, because they platoon at a quarter outfield. And the guy who doesn't is the reigning ACC batting champ. Somebody tell Kurt Schmidt what the rest of those guys are doing. And his OPS is like 980.
Yeah, so it's almost at the 1,000.
It's going to be a terrific matchup next week. Here's the 1-0. Strike at the knees, and the count 1-1.
I feel like, though, it's going to be a good game to kind of gauge to see where both these teams are. For me, it's going to be like, okay, Georgia Tech, you're going to be facing a really good, talented starting pitching staff and relievers that UNC has.
Winslow, shallow fly ball to center. Going out to second baseman Dillard. Incoming in is Clayvon. Makes the catch. That's the first out. Paulson back to first. No, I agree with you. I think it's going to be a terrific matchup. You can see coming up after us, Kevin Fitzgerald, Mike Rooney will be in High Point as Radford gets ready to take on High Point. High Point coming off an NCAA tournament berth a year ago. One out for Owen Hull. It's a really deep ACC this year, Gabby, and we've talked a lot about this. There's some RPI issues at the back of the conference. Stanford, Duke, but those teams are competitive. Stanford's offense is excellent. Duke is just going to try and out-grit you every week.
It's a tough team to play against. I mean,
they have nothing to lose.
And it's fun to watch. Fun for us to call those kind of games.
Here comes the 0-1 to Hull. Check swing, he takes inside, and the count 1-1 is appeal and no swing. Does not seem like anyone here is very excited about it. Even the Clemson Tigers mascot was furious.
Yeah, the Cub did not like it. He was very upset.
And now he's posing for photos. Here comes the 1-1. Down low. He let it go quickly. Yeah. You got to move on to the next pitch.
Got to move on. You can't just grab on one pitch. Take your pictures and go.
Couple key series finales today. There he is. There's the Cub. Find something to eat. Hull back through the middle, off the second base bag and into center. Paulson will stop at second, and North Carolina with another threat brewing. 2 on, 1 out here in the third, leading 2-1.
UNC is just doing a really nice job of kind of understanding what Titsworth's trying to do. Utilizing the big part of the field, not trying to do too much. It's kind of what you see with this UNC lineup. We've talked about it, the power numbers down. Not what we're used to seeing in a UNC team, but that doesn't matter. They're going to be able to score runs on doing exactly what they're doing here. They'll have guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. It's just having good, consistent at-bats.
Well, this is one guy who has a history of hitting it out of the ballpark in Heineck. Only 4 homers this year. First pitch, he checks and takes high. It's 1-0. A big opportunity for Carolina to take control of this game after Clemson cut the deficit to 1. Foul back.
This is, if you're on the mound and you're Titsworth, you're Clemson with 1 out, this is when you're kind of looking at Drew Titsworth and you're like, hey, let's utilize that sinker. Let's utilize that slider. Your pitches, you're going to get a lot more ground balls on, especially in this type of situation. Double play gets you out of this inning and out of the threat.
Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball strike, and the count 1-2. That is one of the things that's so interesting about Titsworth. For a guy who is predominantly a four-seam guy, he actually gets a lot of ground balls, and usually with the breaking ball.
It is. It's crazy that he actually gets about a 63% ground ball rate on just the slider alone.
The 1-2, that one fouled away off to the right, not a play.
But when you're looking at all of his pitches, it's basically a 52 ground ball percentage. It's about 84th percentile in the nation on those ground balls. So he is more of a ground ball pitcher. When he gets hurt is when he tries to execute those heaters up that don't get high enough.
1-2 outside, and the count 2-2 to Colin Heineck.
I would love to see him utilize that sinker in. throw that sinker in close to the hands, get guys to kind of swing on top of it, and just drive it straight into the ground. Let your defense work.
Fluttering the glove as he gets the grip that he wants. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him to chase the slider there. 2 outs.
Beautiful pitch. After a couple sinkers, you're going to tunnel that slider off the sinker. The action that it has, where it starts to where it finishes. Starts about the middle part of the plate, breaks off the plate, and away. Gorgeous pitch by Titsworth.
4 strikeouts for the right-hander, who has been in trouble in each of the last 2 innings, but so far able to pitch his way out of it. Howe takes a strike. It's 0-1. Howe walked and stole a base in the second and was stranded. North Carolina has had a lot of base runners in this series. They have been creating traffic. They have not had the big back-breaking hit. That went inside to get away. And did it hit him? It did. And the bases are now loaded. That's the 3rd hit batter today for Titsworth.
And that one, you saw that Titsworth was upset with himself, just kind of pulled that pitch, and it ends up hitting Howe. Goes with the fastball. He's trying to have a front door with that sinker, just pulls it, gets around it, ends up hitting Howe, and all of a sudden now UNC has bases loaded. And we talked about that they do struggle with runners on third and less than 2 outs, but they've actually excelled with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Cooper Nicholson waits and takes a breaking ball strike. It's 0-1. It was a slow start offensively for the transfer from Iowa Central, but he started to pick it up here in the last couple of weeks, including a run rule walk-off home run against Louisville, as he waits for the 0-1. He chases a breaking ball off the plate. It's 0-2.
I would go with that same exact pitch. See if you can get him to chase.
Clemson fans getting behind Titsworth here. 0-2 the count. The pitch on the ground and foul. That's the runner Paulson at third.
He tried it. Nicholson did a good job of just staying on it enough, but he wanted to go right back to that slider away. Didn't probably get it out as far out as he wanted it to, but it was still a very good pitch. Now you can do a couple different things. You can try to ride that fastball up out over the plate to now set up your next pitch, or you could go back to that slider away.
The 0-2 again. Bouncer foul again.
Ooh. Dangerous pitch, just because that one on an 0-2 count, if you're not able to get it in enough, you're going to leave it out over the heart of the plate. And these guys are ready to swing. We've seen it this whole entire series too. UNC will swing and miss. They will chase outside of the zone.
But it did open up off the outside part of the plate, it feels like, right?
Yes.
Set up the slider again, the 0-2. Way outside, maybe trying to do too much with it that time. It's 1-2.
And you're right. That sinker is going to set up that slider away, but that sinker could also be left over the heart of the plate, not get in, and all of a sudden now you're looking at a ball that's going over the fence. So it's those counts where, okay, what can you use to set up certain pitches?
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him to chase the slider, and Titsworth pitches out of the bases loaded jam. 5 strikeouts for Titsworth. Carolina's left 6. We'll talk to their head coach, Scott Forbes, coming up next. North Carolina leads 2-1. 2-1 North Carolina as we head to the bottom of the third. We're joined now by their head coach, Scott Forbes. A lot of traffic for you guys against Drew Titsworth so far. What are you seeing inside your plate appearances?
Just a lot of traffic and just haven't been able to come through really all weekend with runners in scoring position. But like Derek Jeter said, you know, when you're in a slump, you only got one way to go, so it can only go up.
On the mound, you have Folger Boaz throwing the ball well. What do you want to see out of him today?
Yeah, just attacking. You know, he's got good stuff. Trust Coach Gaines, make sure they're on the same page with their pitch calling. Shake when he needs to. He's throwing the ball, get the cutter going a little bit second time through. As long as he's competing, you know, Folger's at his best when he's just competing.
Scott, before we let you go, I'm curious. We were talking before the game about how difficult it is to win here at Doug Kingsmore. What is it about this place that makes it a difficult place to play?
I mean, the environment, obviously. You know, we try to create the same thing, and it's gotten a lot better for us at the Bosch, which I'm proud of. And you want to, you know, take care of your home field. And I feel like a lot of teams, almost all of our teams, are better at home, and they should be. But Clemson's just one of those places, you know, that's at the top. It's just hard to win games. You can't make mistakes. You can't give extra outs. And eventually you got to get some hits with runners in scoring position.
So, well, we'll let you get back to coaching them up, Coach. We appreciate the time. Best of luck.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Scott Forbes, head coach at North Carolina. Just a brand-new contract extension this week that'll keep him in Carolina blue through 2031. Longtime assistant to Mike Fox there. Has had Carolina in regionals or beyond every year that he has been the head coach now. After the strikeout of Dillard, Boaz facing the leadoff man Bryce Clavin in this 2-1 game. It was really interesting hearing Scott Forbes talk after the game on Friday. He was not happy with his team's performance, and rather than duck it, he addressed it and was honest and forthright about what was happening. And he did it in such a manner that, you know how when your parents got mad at you, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed? That was the manner.
And here's the thing, too. As a player, you know what the game was. You know how it went. You know what you guys could have done better as players.
4-pitch walk, and Clavon reaches.
But the whole entire point is sometimes you don't know what the manager is thinking or what the head coach is thinking. And once the head coach goes out there and you kind of feel what he's saying, and it wasn't in a mean-spirited way. It wasn't to tear down or break down anybody on the team. It was just honesty, and it was saying, hey, this was not good and we need to be better. And as a team, you kind of look at that and you take them. You're like, hey, guys, we do. Like, we have to look in the mirror and say, hey, we got to be better in certain situations.
First pitch a strike to Nate Savoy. It's 0-1.
Especially if you want to get to where you want to get to, which is getting yourself to Omaha and at the end winning a national title.
I mean, it's been a very good season for Carolina so far. I mean, we're more than halfway through the year, and they have just 6 losses as Savoy files it back.
5 of those being an ACC play.
Right. And they are right there at the top of the league behind Georgia Tech, who leads it, as you saw in the standings earlier. So, I mean, this is a team that still has a chance to win the ACC regular season. But we also talked about, you know, how, listen, all of this matters to get you to the postseason, but really it's about how you play once May and June hit that are going to matter the most for this North Carolina team. Savoy down on strikes, 2 outs.
The more and more that I'm watching Boaz on the mound, he's got some good stuff. It's a good fastball slider mix. He's got that good cutter too, and it all depends on who's hitting it. They see a guy that has a good bat path through the zone and it's flat, they're going to go more towards that slider. If you've got a little bit of dip, then it's going to be more towards that cutter that stays up in the zone a little bit more. Understanding what hitter you're facing, and that for me is, for Folger Boaz, is that understanding of, okay, this guy is hitting and I know how I need to execute my pitches against him. One thing that you probably will start seeing a little bit more of too is the changeup to righties.
Jack Crichton takes a strike. It's 0-1. Very good series for the senior from Michigan. 5 for 12 with a homer. Serving as the DH today. He's dealing with a bit of a groin issue. Just another of the banged-up Clemson position players. Tigers are relatively healthy on the mound, but position player-wise, they have really been beset by injuries. But Crichton playing through it. He has been a valuable role player before this year and now hitting in the middle of their lineup. And he bounces it through the right side, and moving over to make the play is the second baseman Gallagher. And he throws out the runner to end the inning. We've played 3, 2-1 North Carolina. We'll visit with Eric Bakich, Clemson's head coach, next. Chamber of Commerce Day here in Clemson, South Carolina. Weather's been terrific all weekend. Last night they had a Luke Owen concert that the start of got delayed. It was supposed to start 30 minutes after the baseball game. The game went 5 hours yesterday.
5 hours, 1 minute.
And so they had to delay it, but it's been a gorgeous weekend here. And another terrific day for baseball as 2 of the ACC's traditional powers square off at Doug Kingsmore Stadium. We'll speak to the head coach of the Clemson Tigers, Eric Bakich, in just a couple of moments. And we are joined now by EB. Eric, just what have you had this early first inning meeting with Drew Titsworth. What was your message to him, and what have you seen since then?
I don't think that's a message for TV.
It was direct?
It was exactly what you would think it was. You know, we're playing with fire, and they've got the leadoff hitter on in each of these first 3 innings, and we need to do a better job of. We've done a good job escaping jams all weekend, but that's not the recipe we're looking for.
You're facing a guy in Folger Boaz, utilizing that fastball slider mix. You guys have been getting on base. What are you telling your hitters right now facing him?
Well, he's mostly fastball cutter, and he mixes in some, the slider occasionally, change occasionally, but it's mostly fastball cutter. So it's the go zone. It's got to be in a certain window, and we just got to be ready to attack, and we can't be taking cookies. That's never the recipe. So we have, some guys have done a good job and some guys haven't, but collectively as an offense, we need to be ready to hit in the box when we get hard-tone pitches, less than 2 strikes.
All right, now one of our favorite things when we get a chance to talk to you, Eric, is that you always have somebody else for us to talk to. Who have you got for us now?
We got Dion Brown right here.
Oh,
ready to go.
Great.
Let's go. Here he is.
All right. Dion Brown, who was one of the relief heroes yesterday for Clemson. Dion, Mike Farron, and Gabby Sanchez. Hi, big fan. First time talking. Your breaking ball is an absolute hammer. Where'd you develop that?
I actually just put time in this summer, getting stronger with Coach Francois, and I think the strength is where it came from because I threw the same pitch last year. I just didn't have the – Ooh. Come on, Drew.
Titsworth won't have a play, and now they'll have to go and check on him here. But
I think the strength over the summer program just really helped me develop that pitch to, throw it harder.
They're going to check on Titsworth here in just a second, I think. It looks like he's going to try and walk it off. Eric Bakich heading out there. I'm just going to ask you real quick. Your dad played in the NFL. He was a great defensive back. What did that athletic background, do you think, help you with?
I think just growing up, in the sports field, his true love was actually baseball. He played at our rival here, South Carolina. So he just grew up loving baseball, really wanted me to play it, and I actually wasn't allowed to play football until 7th grade, no contact sports. So I got the chance to do that, did that, but I think just being around, sports my whole life, being around him, competitive athletes that are at a high level, it just really helped me.
Dion, we appreciate the time. We're going to check in on Titsworth here. Thank you so much. Continued success. It's been a lot of fun watching you pitch this year.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Dion Brown, son of Sheldon Brown, former NFL defensive back, and we're checking on Drew Titsworth now. Here's what happened. Liner, it caught him, looked like it caught him almost on the right triceps.
I think he was pointing more towards that rib area. That ball exited the bat at 104 miles an hour. That was coming in hot. And just kind of where that lat is, tough to just be able to stay there. The only thing that I'm kind of looking at right now is when you do get hit in areas like that, you get some tightness. And it's tightness right away. And it could take a couple minutes, could take an inning to kind of loosen that up. So how is he going to be able to come back at this point? Because a lot of times once you get hit, you get tight and you really can't get that release that you want to get.
There's a little bit of a smile as Joe Allen gets loose again. Second time he's been up today. Remember, this is obviously different than what he dealt with in the preseason, but he did have a lat issue before the season started, right in that same area, right under the right armpit, and that slowed Titsworth's start to the year.
I feel like this is not going to be that type of injury. This is more of once you get hit in a spot, one, it's going to be tender, two, it's going to tighten up on you.
Eric Bakich having a discussion with the umpires here about.
I think they're saying, do you want him to warm up there or does he have to warm up here?
Yeah, on the mound.
So is that going to be then telling me that Titsworth will be coming out of this ball game?
Bakich walking back now as Titsworth continues to stand with the trainer. And they're waiting for word, and that's certainly a.
I mean, he's not throwing anymore, and it looks like he's going to be coming out of this ball game. Yeah, he's leaving it right on the mound.
He's leaving the pitch count device right on the mound, so Joe Allen is going to come in. Drew Titsworth hit with a line drive on his right side will leave the game with 2 on and nobody out in the top of the 4th, and North Carolina leading 2-1.
Doesn't get a lot bigger than this.
Run straight for the breakaway.
Who will emerge? We'll see.
5 weeks from Charlotte in the ACC tournament. You see the 16 ACC championships for Clemson baseball. As they try to get back to Omaha for the first time in 16 years. Joe Allen takes over, the senior from New Hampshire, former Gatorade Player of the Year in the Granite State, replacing Drew Titsworth, who just took a line drive off his right side off the bat of Jake Schaffner.
I feel like with Joe Allen on the mound. We've said his name throughout the years a whole bunch. It's like Mr. Reliable out there. You know what you're going to get. Not an overpowering fastball, about 86 to 89 miles an hour. He's got a cutter. He'll sink it. He can slide it. Those are the main pitches that he's going to throw. But he's just kind of works east to west. He can actually hit all the quadrants. Just a pitcher on the mound.
He was a spot starter and longman his first 2 years here at Clemson, and then last year really emerged as one of their key relief arms. Just finished his degree in August in communications.
Congratulations on that.
College graduate.
Now he gets to hang out.
Now he has to face Gavin Gallagher. Gallagher accounted for the North Carolina offense with a 2-run homer in the first inning, batting here with first and second, nobody out in the fourth. So a big spot for Allen to come into as he's ready to go. First pitch. Lands a breaking ball for a strike. It's 0-1. That feels like it's going to be the real key. How can he pitch off of that breaking ball because he's not overpowering?
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly that cutter. Throws the cutter a whole bunch, and will work that cutter, then he'll work that sinker in.
Gallagher lines one deep and foul down the left field line.
He really is that east to west style pitcher, the out and in. Uses that cutter, use the sinker. You know, try to tunnel that same area. One's going to go into a righty, one's going to go away from the righty.
Here's the set and the 0-2. Gallagher swings and skies one to left. Savoy racing over. Does he have a play? No, it is out of play. Just past the bullpen. So he stays alive. But Gallagher's had big swings at those last 2 pitches.
Now you can expand the zone. And that's what I would see Joe Allen doing. A veteran on the mound, a guy who's been there, done that. Understanding, okay, this is a team that will swing and miss. I've seen them strike out a whole bunch. I don't need to be perfect.
The 0-2 bounced foul.
That, to me, caught way too much of the plate, especially with a guy like Gavin Gallagher, who is in swing mode right now. And whenever you see a hitter that's in swing mode, that's when you don't want to just lay something over the heart. You don't want to miss over the heart of the plate.
Runners get their lead from first and second. The 0-2. Checks and takes in the dirt. Appeal to first and no swing.
I love that pitch, though. You're trusting your catcher and Gerald to be behind the plate, to be able to keep that ball in front of him so the runners can't get the extra 90. But something to where you saw Gavin Gallagher almost goes after that pitch that was off the plate away.
Here comes the 1-2. And the count evens at 2-2. So I went back to the breaking ball again, but couldn't get Gallagher to chase.
Now is when I want to see that sinker in. Right, everything's been away. Slider away, slider away. Now you got those eyes looking out over the plate. Now you try to run something in.
2-2. And the count goes full. He went back to it one more time. Gallagher had a really good look at it.
What I'm looking for is a ground ball in this type of situation. He does get some ground balls, especially off of that sinker. That's why I want him to utilize that sinker in this type of situation.
8th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. The 3-2. Gallagher in the air to left. Going back on it is Savoy up the terrace, and he makes the catch. Tagging and heading from second to third is Nunez, and he'll make it. Running on even on the catcher arm strength is Savoy, so it moves the runners into scoring position with 1 out. That ball kept carrying, Gabby. I didn't think it was hit all that well.
You know, one of the things that we've noticed, and we've done a whole bunch of games here, is that usually that wind is blowing in. Today, there is no wind. That ball is just going to play. And you're right, that ball just kept on carrying and carrying. There's nothing that is stopping it. Those flags are just straight down.
2 in scoring position for Eric Paulson. A single his last trip. Third baseman Fultz playing in as Paulson had a big rip and fouls it back. It's 0-1.
Paulson, remember, he hit that ball to center field, and Claiborne did a very nice job of getting to the wall and jumping and making the grab. There's a lot of power in this Paulson bat, and all of a sudden now, second and third, less than 2. What can they do?
And this has been the key for North Carolina. They've not had great success in this series with a man at third and less than 2 outs. Count 0-2.
Yeah, when we were talking to Scott Forbes, this is the key that he has been talking to his team about. He said, not harping on it because I don't want him to think too much, but when you get into these situations, got to get at least one across.
The 0-2. That one hits him. It hits Paulson on the foot. That's the 4th Tar Heel that's been hit by a pitch today. And the bases are now loaded with 1 out for Macon Winslow.
Oh, boy, for Joe Allen, too. An 0-2 count. Ends up overcooking that cutter. And it ends up hitting Paulson on that foot. And now, if you're UNC and you're Carolina, you're looking to see if you can break this game open. But if you're Joe Allen, you know that you're just 1 pitch away. You're a ground ball away from getting out of this inning.
The Duke transfer, Winslow, stands in the DH. The first pitch is a strike. It's 0-1. This is the key moment of this game so far. Carolina's already left 6 on. They need to cash in. Clemson trying to continue walking across the tightrope. The 0-1. Foul back in the count 0-2. Well, Allen's had no problems getting ahead of guys.
And here's the thing, too. Now you're 0-2. What I'm checking out is where the defense is going to be playing me. Right? Everybody, they were playing for Poole. So everybody is playing Winslow for Poole. All of a sudden, now with 2 strikes, you kind of shift it. If I'm Winslow, I'm looking to let that ball get deep. I am not letting him do that if I'm Joe Allen, though. I'm going to keep attacking.
In the dirt. Backhanded stop by Gerald, 1-2.
I want to get in and underneath those hands. I want to see if I can get Winslow to get on top of a ball, to chop it to that left side, utilizing that sinker. The swing and miss, yeah, that's going to be fine. But I want to get a ground ball. I want something soft in play to turn a double play.
The 1-2. Hit on the ground, past Lichtenberger into left field, a base hit. A run will score, it's bobbled in left. A second man comes home, and Carolina has a 4-1 lead. Schaffner had stopped, and when Savoy overran it, he started to get waved home, and it leads to a second run and a 4-1 lead for North Carolina.
Yeah, it's going to be an error on Savoy in left field. This ball well struck. I like the thought process, just didn't get it in, left it over the heart of the plate. That's one of the things that you will have when you are a sinker baller. If you can't get that ball in there and it stays out over, you're going to be in trouble. But there you see Savoy not just picking up his head right before he's about to make that play, and because of that, that ball stayed underneath his glove, and that runner's able to score.
Well, there's cashing in, a man at third with less than 2 outs for North Carolina. In fact, they get 2, and now here's Hull, who has a single in 2 trips. 4-1 North Carolina in the 4th. Hull takes in the dirt, knocked down by Gerald. And the count 2-0. This feels like an absolutely massive moment here for Clemson. Again, a game that they need to win. And they have to get out of this still having hope. Again, this is not one of the higher scoring teams. They're 14th in runs per game in the ACC. So keeping Carolina off the board is a key for them. Fouled away, it got a piece of Gerald.
And that's, if you're Clemson right now and you're a Clemson fan, you're looking at it going, okay, look, there was bases loaded with 1 out. If you're able to get out of this inning only giving up the 2, that's okay. There's still a lot of game left to chip away and get some runs. The last thing that you want to do is all of a sudden have those heads kind of get down. That's when the game starts to explode on you. So you have to stay upbeat. You got to stay positive. Hey, it's okay. We need to do something. We can get these runs back.
Ooh.
That's.
Yeah.
There was no shin guard protecting that upper thigh.
Imagine running into a doorknob in your house with your thigh, only the doorknob's going 95 miles an hour. 2-1 the count.
You got to be tough to catch.
Bouncer foul. And the count 2-2. Now, if you're Allen, you've seen him get out in front of that. Are you going to be right there with the pitch, or do you want to try and go away?
You need to be able to expand. Again, it's a 2-2 pitch. Usually on 2-2, you want to throw your best pitch that you have.
2-2 upstairs, and the count is full. Two on, one out. Carolina leading 4-1 in the top of the fourth. The payoff to Hull. Swinging a fly ball to right, pretty well hit. That one's going back, and it is into the Cajun Cafe. A 3-run homer for Owen Hull, and North Carolina has broken it open. They lead 7-1. Just his second home run of the year. That the leading RBI man for Carolina delivers.
There's something to be said about dropping the bat head. That's exactly what Hall did. Gets the cutter in, drops the bat head to the baseball, hits it over the right field wall. And this is what we talked about with the UNC, and you wanted to try to keep the game there. You did not want this game to kind of get away from you if you were Clemson. 5 runs in the top of the fourth.
And a pitching change coming. Third pitcher of the inning coming in for Clemson, as Joe Allen's day is done. 7-1 North Carolina in the fourth. Just home run number 2 on the year for Owen Hull, but he's driven in a run a game this season. RBI number 36, 37, and 38 for the center fielder. 5-run inning for North Carolina as they've taken a 7-1 lead. Chased Joe Allen, and Landon Fowler will make his first appearance in 11 days out of the Clemson bullpen. He last pitched in a midweek game against Wake Forest. That was technically a non-conference game between the two. Played in Charlotte and threw a scoreless inning there, allowing a hit and striking out 2. But we're into the inexperienced part of the Clemson pen. Even with both teams getting long outings out of their bullpen yesterday, Clemson's pen a little bit taxed here.
A little bit taxed. And now you have a guy on the mound in Fuller, giving him the ability to go up there against a UNC lineup. Yeah, he's been doing pretty good this year. Guys are only hitting 200 against him in the 4 1/3 innings that he has pitched. It's a fastball changeup. He has a slider. It's going to mostly be that fastball changeup slider type pitcher. Fastball 91 and 93. But I feel like this is more for, hey, get some experience against a UNC lineup.
Count 2-0. We talked about the importance of this game for Clemson, in jeopardy of falling to 5-10 in league play. So the team was ranked to open the year. They went outside and count 3-0 to Heineck. Here comes the set and the 3-0. A strike at the knees, they count 3-1. The upcoming conference schedule for Clemson, it doesn't get any easier when they go to Virginia next weekend. Then they're at Louisville in what might be the biggest series in the ACC all year for teams trying to get in that large berth. Got out to second and Heineck retired 2 outs. Louisville, who was ranked in the top 10 to open the year, has fallen out. They still have Boston College, Florida State coming up. These are including their midweeks against Charlotte and USC Upstate in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, it's not going to be easy. Louisville's got one of the top offenses in the country. Boston College has been terrific.
Virginia's a very good squad, too. Saw them. They can hit up and down the lineup. Pollard has done a great job over there at Virginia.
First pitch is a strike to Tyler Howe. It's 0-1. Clemson really searching for wins here as Howe lines it down the left field line at base hit. He'll make the turn at first and hold on. The freshman aboard with 2 outs in the 4th, and the inning continues. Nicholson will be the 9th man to come to the plate for Carolina in this 4th inning.
Oh, what a pretty swing to Howe. Just letting that ball travel, line drive, opposite way, staying on it nicely. The way that you kind of construct a lineup, especially in college baseball, you want to be able to get production up and down the lineup. We've definitely seen this UNC team have that production up and down this lineup, especially here today.
Nicholson fouls the first one back. It's 0-1. Yeah, that's the thing, is they're not, they're what, 8th in the conference in runs per game? They're right in the middle of the pack.
But I feel like the conference has like the top 6 in college baseball.
Yeah.
5 of the 6 or whatever it is.
I think it's the top 4 teams in the conference are in the top 20 in scoring in the nation.
It's ridiculous.
So yeah, yes, it is a high scoring conference. I don't think it's quite to the level where Carolina was a couple of years ago.
Very true.
In the league in runs scored, but they have, to me, their approach is significantly better than it was a year ago. That one down low, the count 2-1. The team.
There was more swing and miss.
Yeah.
It was more like trying to hit for power rather than.
They didn't really have much power.
They didn't, but they thought they did.
Yeah.
That's what I remember going over there. I'm like, man, everybody's swinging for homers.
Liner down the left field line and foul. And listen, like Luke Stevenson was a really good power hitter for them, their catcher. He didn't have quite as good a year as a sophomore as he did as a freshman. He was a high pick last year as a draft-eligible sophomore. King Kepley put together a really good year in center field, replacing Vance Honeycutt. They weren't going to run the same numbers out that they did 2 years ago when they made it to Omaha. But it was an offense that got better as the year went on, and they found themselves a win away from the Men's College World Series. This year, from the jump, it's felt like the quality of their bat has been better than it was a year ago. And, it's very weird because they don't strike out a lot. They chase. They'll make contact on pitches outside the zone. They don't walk a ton, but they walk enough. And yet they constantly seem to be getting themselves into good counts. And this has not been easy for any of the Clemson pitchers. Even before Titsworth left with the injury, taking the liner off his side, he had run a huge pitch count up through the first, 3+ innings.
And you start to look at this team and what they were doing. They've struck out a whole bunch in this series. So there is that swing and miss. But to get to that swing and miss, they're making pitchers throw a ton of pitches.
36 times in this series so far, 15 of those on Friday. Runner goes outside, ball 4. And the inning will continue for Jaden Nunez. He singled and then scored. He was the first batter of this inning. As North Carolina with a 7-1 lead here in the fourth. 5 runs home in the inning. And Fowler now going to have to work against a fellow freshman. The first pitch, swing and a miss. Breaking ball there, it's 0-1.
Yeah, got him with the slider. He's going to be having to utilize that pitch, because I feel like if you're Eric Bakich, you need somebody to give you a couple innings out of that bullpen here.
In the dirt, it gets to the screen, and the runners will move into scoring position.
And now you have to kind of be wary, too, with that slider. Just because you just finished throwing it to the backstop, Gerald can only do too much behind the plate to keep that ball in front of him. So now if I'm hitting, I'm going to be keying in more on the fastball than I am on anything else. And I'm going to look to try to see if I can get him to elevate just enough.
The 1-1 on the ground towards short. Lichtenberger has it. He will throw to first in time to get Nunez. And the inning is over. 10 men come to the plate for Carolina. 5 of them score through 3.5. They lead Clemson 7-1. This is a tradition that started a year ago here at Doug Kingsmore Stadium, as Eric Bakich has his players head into the stands in the middle of the 4th inning in every game to go and say thank you to the veterans that are here in attendance. It's something that he picked up, Gabby, from the Savannah Bananas. We'll talk more about the Bananas' influence on this Clemson program here in a little bit. But this is a really touching moment, and generally, Bakich will be part of that in the crowd as well. In fact, he takes his hat and glasses off to head into the stands, too. I mean, this is not an easy moment for these players and the coaches in terms of the game, but their appreciation for those who served is a really cool tradition that they've begun here.
It really is. Whenever you have players to be able to just come out and interact with fans is one thing, but now to be able to come out and interact with the veterans and basically showing your gratitude and thank you for everything that you've done. Really cool thing that Eric Bakich has brought to college baseball.
And the players really seem to buy into it as well. I mean, you see Jaron Purify, who's still dealing with broken fingers on the right hand, shaking hands with guys. Deion Brown going by there, but it's not a couple of hats for some kids in the offing. But this tradition is one that is really special to Doug Kingsmore Stadium and this incredible venue, and I know it's greatly appreciated by the Clemson fans.
It's a perfect song, too.
Always Lee Greenwood playing. And a thank you to those who served. And as the Clemson players make their way back to the dugout, we get ready for the bottom of the 4th inning. Carolina leading 7-1. Doug Kingsmore Stadium, to me, is one of the really great college baseball venues. This is a special place, and not just because of this new tradition that's here. We understand the importance of Clemson baseball to the ACC and college baseball as well, but the environment here is one of the best. And that's even, I want to talk about some of the changes that they made to the stadium last year, but this is a fervent fan base. And it is so exciting to be able to be a part of this. And when things get loud in big series, this is one of the best atmospheres in all of college baseball.
I will tell you that when you kind of walk around and you see the facilities, not only for baseball, but for football and basketball and gymnastics and rowing.
Luke Gaffney in the air to center. Hall there to make the catch for out number 1. But it really is a terrific, terrific venue. Today's the final day of the NBA regular season, and the playoff positioning is on the line in these 2 big games. Our ESPN doubleheader starts at 6 Eastern with the Magic and Celtics. Then the Spurs host the Nuggets. Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Shaq tip-off coverage at 5. We'll be back at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific to break it all down and everything else that was big in the association. Magic Celtics tonight. Mark Jones' final game with ESPN. And hats off to one of the great play-by-play announcers, 36 years with ESPN and ABC. And congrats to Mark on a great career here. I know great things are down the road. I remember watching him on the NBA Today years ago. Hot smash to third. And a nice play by Cooper Nicholson. And Paulson keeps the bag. 2 outs. Excellent play on both ends for the Carolina defense.
I mean, what a play at third base by Nicholson to be able to make that play. That ball was hit at 106 miles an hour. Able to get up the line, dive to make the grab, the throw over. Great job, too, by Paulson to be able to make that play and stay on. That ball was hit. It was a rocket. What a play.
2 outs for Lichtenberger, who takes a strike. It's 0-1.
But talking about the facilities, because we were talking about the fans, we've been here plenty where all of a sudden, like, oh, the basketball team is playing, or they're having a gymnastics competition, and you see all the fans kind of go from the gymnastics facility that's right next door, and you see them walking up, and it's just making a whole entire day of it, supporting Clemson sports, not just baseball, but football, basketball, everything. I mean, it's really cool to see, you know, these fans out here.
You know, I remember as a kid in the 80s, Clemson was good in football, really good in football in the first part of the 1980s. And I remember thinking how cool it was they play in a place called Death Valley. And they've got the purple and orange, right? Like there's something about Clemson that has a magnetism to it. And then when you get to spend time here, it's really a great city. That's going to be a tough play for Schaffner. Throw to first, not in time. Paulson couldn't make the scoop. Think Lichtenberger was going to beat it out anyway, but boy, some good defensive effort for the Carolina infield here.
Carolina, they understand that this Clemson team, you don't want to give them any breathing room. You don't want them to all of a sudden come back. But, man, that defense has been great. Schaffner does a great job of getting over, throws on the run. Yeah, it looked like Lichtenberger was going to beat it out anyways, but that doesn't take away from the nice play at short.
2 outs for Fultz, who rips it foul. Count 0-1.
If you're Clemson right now, it's just about chipping away. You just gave up 5 in the top of the 4th. Chip away. Don't try to get them all back at once. If you try to put that type of pressure on yourself, you're just going to kind of expand the zone. You're going to try to do too much.
Fultz lines it into right center field, a base hit. Lichtenberger will head to third. And Clemson has him at the corners with 2 outs for Jackson Moore.
I feel like Eric Bakich, after we talked to him, probably told his offense, hey, enough is enough, and we've got to be a little bit more aggressive at the bat. He's going to be throwing you fastballs to be able to hit. Let's look for something out over the plate. Let's get some good swings off of it, and that's what we've been seeing. Even the outs have been hard. Gerald hit that ball rocket to third base. So all of a sudden now Clemson is starting to realize, okay, we got to be a little bit more aggressive, especially early on in these at-bats.
The freshman Jackson Moore is 0 for 1 as he takes a strike on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Moore's stepfather played here at Clemson. Daniel Pritchard.
Dirt.
He's going to get there in the dirt. It gets away from Heineck, but not far enough for the runners to move. Yeah. I was asking Eric Bakich, what do you got on Moore? He goes, yeah, man, he's just a good player. He's taking advantage of the opportunity. Clemson family. I mean, for crying out loud, his stepdad's nickname was Dirt.
That's great.
That should tell you what kind of player Moore is. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Impressive balance at the plate for a young guy. Like everything seems really well connected for him.
It is, and confident, but not one of these confident players that thinks he knows more. He's just confident within his own abilities.
The 1-2. Liner into left center. Hull on the move makes the catch, and the inning is over. Clemson leaves a pair We've played 4. North Carolina leading Clemson 7-1. This is the ACC on ESPN. The Cajun Cafe at Doug Kingsmore Stadium, one of the great features here where they are smoking meat all day during the games. The best chicken thighs I think I've ever had.
Bologna sandwich.
Oh,
Fantastic.
they did a
Remember that
smoked bologna a couple years ago that was incredible. They'll do a bog. I think the first time you ever had a bog was
That's
here,
true.
right?
It was
That's
delicious.
good old-fashioned low country food, a rice dish with some sausage and shrimp in it, chicken. Nothing like the Cajun Cafe, one of the best places in college baseball. And you can tell everybody trying to find the shade, probably another cold beverage, and a third plate of food.
See, you asked Forbes, what's the hard part about playing here? And, of course, he said the atmosphere. For me, it would have been the smell. Because I would have been like, I am starving the whole game. Golly.
2-0 the count to Schaffner. A couple of hits today for the leadoff man, and he's ahead 3-0. Yeah, the biggest challenge with coming to work as a broadcaster at Clemson, and I want you to really feel sorry for us, is 3.5 hours a game when the smoke starts flowing there. And it's, you remember the old cartoons where like the smoke would catch catch Tom and Jerry by the nostrils and drag him across? That's Gabby and me as we're dragged out to the Cajun Cafe by the smell of the smoke.
Oh, envious of those guys out there.
3-2. We need to not do a broadcast from there, but we need to get here early enough that we can help them cook.
I would love that.
That's what I want.
Just to kind of learn and see how they cook the chicken.
Now, you know I love my barbecue anyway. Schaffner, the leadoff walk here in the 5th. The 30th annual WNBA draft is tomorrow night on ESPN and the ESPN app. The Dallas Wings have the first pick, followed by the Lynx, Storm, Mystics, and Sky. The expansion Toronto Tempo and Portland Fire will have the 6th and 7th picks. Coverage begins. WNBA countdown 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. A mound visit here. Everybody getting together. Eric Bakich, hands on hips.
Yeah, I like this too. Your captain, Jacob Gerald, out there, explaining to the young freshman on the mound, hey, let's get going here. It looks like Bakich is going to come out. More likely than not, there's going to be a change on the mound.
Another freshman, Peyton Miller, getting loose. And it feels like they, to your point earlier, like they're going to be looking for guys who can help to contribute down the road. And today's a great audition for them with them down 7-1 in the 5th, coming off a 14-inning game yesterday. Bakich doing all the talking here. Still no signal to the bullpen.
No, there's a lot of talk, and
conference is going on for quite a while.
hopefully umpire Robert Nunez is just letting them talk. Usually at this point, they'll be saying, all right, we got to hurry up and get something moving here.
And now Bakich makes the call to the pen. So pitching change coming. North Carolina leads Clemson 7-1. We'll tell you about the Tigers' new pitcher in a moment here in the top of the fifth.
Exclusively on ESPN, 40-plus NCAA championships. Confetti rains. Nets are cut. Joy erupts. Hardware is hoisted. History happens here on ESPN, home of NCAA championships.
Freshman Peyton Miller is on for Clemson. Leadoff man aboard here in the fifth. The product of IMG Academy. You can see he's thrown just 2 1/3 innings, though good results so far this year for the young right-hander, who was a highly touted third base prospect before converting pitcher full-time. So an opportunity here. This message has to be throw strikes.
Throw strikes. That's what it's got to be. I'm still confused on what pre-business major means.
It's before
It's before business? That's okay. I was a little confused on that. But it's a fastball, curveball, it's a slider. That fastball, 90 to 92, he's going to try to ride that fastball up and in. Then he'll tunnel that fastball with that curveball. But again, this is a situation where if you're Eric Bakich, it's like, listen, this is kind of a spot where I've had to use a lot of guys the last couple of games. I need somebody to come out and show me that they can take that ball and be aggressive over the plate and get strikes and not give out free passes. You got to be careful with this guy at the bat because he's starting to warm up.
Gallagher gave Carolina the lead 2 batters into the game with that home run you saw on the screen. He takes a first pitch strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Yeah, if the power is going to start coming in this lineup for North Carolina, it's going to be Gallagher and Paulson. As Robert Nunez making sure that Miller makes eye contact with Gallagher before starting his delivery. Gallagher, Paulson, Heineck, probably Nicholson too. And those are the guys that are the closest to double digits in home runs, but they're the ones with a history of power. Runner goes, pitches the ball, the throw to second, in time to get him. Schaffner gunned down a perfect throw from Gerald for out number 1.
What's crazy, too, is that I thought that Schaffner had it, and it almost looks like he slows down right before the slide. That little spot right before he was about to slide, he hesitated. And because of that hesitation, it slowed him up enough where Gerald, who got rid of that ball extremely quick, was able to get him.
2-1 now, the count to Gallagher. Clemson needs something to go their way, anything momentum-wise, so maybe that turns the tide, although North Carolina's offense is going to keep coming at them today. This feels like, even though North Carolina needed just 3 pitchers to get through yesterday in the 14 innings, Caden Glauber was terrific. 6 innings of work out of the bullpen to finish it, and he is a really talented freshman that North Carolina has, but this is one of those where you're sitting in the middle innings and you're up by half a dozen. You're thinking, if we can get this done in 7, I feel a lot better about saving those 2 innings with our bullpen.
Well, especially after having to use guys. It's not like they had to use a whole bunch in yesterday's ball game, but whenever you're able to cut a game to 7 innings and you don't really have to use your bullpen, that's a heck of a game that you were able to play. Aubrey, you're right, though. That's a guy that I would not be surprised if all of a sudden here in the next couple of weeks, you're hearing that name in that starting rotation spot. He is that good, and his stuff is absolutely nasty.
It is electric. I mean, we were talking to Carter Hicks, the general manager of the North Carolina program, before the game, and he was saying that when he was in the fall, Glauber would touch a 94, but it was 91 and 93. Yesterday, as Paulson hammers one to center, and there's Clavon to make the catch for out number 2. Gallagher retreats to first, but in the fall, Glauber was 91, 93, he might touch 94. Now he was holding 95 miles an hour through into the 6th inning of work that he had. And it is a lightning quick arm with 2 real secondaries, a good breaking ball and a good changeup. And talking to Scott Forbes about a month ago, he said he's a future Friday guy. That future might be pretty quick.
Pretty quick, yeah.
Friday has been one of the questions for them. You know, as well as North Carolina's pitched, they haven't gotten very deep on the weekends. Jason DeCaro has been okay, their Friday guy. Ryan Lynch has been terrific on Saturdays. And Boaz, who's pitching well today, the results have been not quite as good as his reputation, I would say. As Winslow lines it fair inside the bag at third and into the bullpen. Gallagher will trek to third. That one rolled out of play, and they're saying the ball was stuck underneath the padding.
I think he was saying no. I don't think he had the hands up.
No, he did. He went. You're right. At first, it looked like it was waved off.
I think he was saying no. I'm waving that off. And then I think they called time afterwards. I don't think that they're bringing the runner back.
You're right.
I think what they were saying was Lichtenberger goes out to see it and was trying to put the hands up to basically say, and the umpire was like, nope. Chris Ward at third base, the third base umpire said, no. That ball is still live. It did not get lodged. And you can see him running, and right now he's going to say nope. He could see it. Nope.
Yep, you're right, Gabby. That's a good call. And it leads to a run for North Carolina as they score Gallagher from first and lead 8-1. Here's Owen Hall. I get confused because I saw the first thing you did, and then it looked like he raised his hands up, but at that point,
and here's the thing.
Stop the play, right?
If you are going to raise your hand up, the first thing that they tell you is do not go and grab it, because as soon as you go to grab it, that's it. The ball is live again. You're playing that ball as it's live. And I think what happened was Lichtenberger saw it and was thinking, if I don't get to this ball, they're going to probably score a run here on this play.
As it is, it's 8-1 Carolina. That one into left field, a base hit. Runner coming around third. Here comes Savoy's throw, cut off. RBI single for Hull, 9-1 North Carolina in the 5th. He's knocked in 4 today.
That's one where if you're Fultz out there at the third baseman, Savoy, that ball kind of eats him up. It's a line drive, one hopper in between, but he does a good job of making sure that ball doesn't get away from him. But if you're the third baseman, Fultz, you got to start coming up to play that ball to see if you can catch it, be that relay to home. As soon as that ball bounces in front of you, you're not going to have that play at home.
Here's Colin Heineck. Takes outside, 1-0. There's more action in the Clemson pen. Another freshman, Eston Simpson, beginning to get loose. fouled away, and the count 1-1. There's Simpson. A 5-run fourth inning, the key frame for North Carolina in this one, as they have broken things open in the middle innings. A high strike in the count 1-2. The pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Georgia State transfer waiting. And the delivery. One dumped into right field, another base hit. Stopping at second is Hull. And the inning continues for North Carolina. Boy, for a team that felt like they hadn't cashed in a lot of scoring opportunities, North Carolina's not missing many today, are they?
They're not. I mean, they're getting pitches out over the plate, and they're doing their job of making hard contact, not trying to do too much either. It's not like they're going up there and seeing guys trying to hit home runs. They know who they are, just kind of going the opposite way, staying on pitches, just having tough ABs. Now that we know that they've had all season long.
Eric Bakich is heading back out to the mound, and it looks like he will make another pitching change. Since Titsworth was knocked out of the game on the comebacker by Schaffner, he's already gone to 3 relievers, 2 in the last inning, looking at potentially his 3rd pitcher of this inning. Simpson continues to toss, no signal yet from Bakich. Conversation continuing.
Just letting them loosen up as much as possible. Something that we've seen out of Eric Bakich. Surprised at Robert Nunez again. This is the second time he goes out there, just kind of standing
it's a
around.
Compelling story that he's telling. You never know.
At some point, you would see these home plate umpires like, "Hey, we got to make a change here. Let's go. Let's get this stuff moving."
So Aston Simpson will enter the game here. 9-1, North Carolina leads. Clemson out to their 3rd pitcher of the inning. ESPN is the home of MLB.TV. Stream every out-of-market game live or on demand using the ESPN app. Blackout and other restrictions apply. For more information, go to ESPN.com/MLBTV. Well, ask and we shall receive.
Oh, baby, you get the first plate.
Lori, our wonderful
Oh, baby.
A2 has brought us food from the folks at the Cajun Cafe.
Oh,
it is a pimento. Well, it is Masters weekend, right? So
that's why.
A pimento cheese sandwich.
Thank you so much.
And some chicken. Thank you, Lori. And incredible French fries.
I'm going to devour this.
Delicious.
Look how beautiful.
Gabby, give the people a little eat like you mean it. Like, take that bite and really
we're not
savor
supposed to eat because I'm going to.
No, that's why I want you to do it,
right?
not me.
We're not going to be coming back on camera because there's going to be a lot of stuff on this shirt.
Look at this. This is
this is fantastic. These little guys, these little nuggets here, the chicken nuggets.
Oh, so good.
So good.
We are not beneath pandering for food.
I got to taste this.
Yeah, go ahead and eat it. Tell the people what they're missing by not being here in Clemson. Gabby is chewing. That's where the radio background comes in. Andy.
That's delicious.
I wish you could see. I'm not sure at home that
smile.
you get the full idea of the sparkle in Gabby's eyes right now.
Especially when you're coming and you're hoping that this is what you're going to get, and then it shows up.
They always take care of us at the
They do.
Cafe. They do a wonderful job.
That's so good, by the way.
If you're going to do a tour of college baseball, in the South, then you got to come here. And we got a couple other barbecue joints outside of town that we could hit too that we highly recommend.
Definitely go and sit yourself in that Cajun Cafe if you're able to get a spot.
Make some friends, people who know people. That's important. Gabby knows a guy. You went out there in the middle of a game once and didn't bring it.
I did bring you something back. What are you talking about?
Sorry, we had to share a plate. You were like, I think you felt bad. You forgot about me out there. I think that's what it was.
Well, when they put food in front of my face, I forget about a lot of things.
See the numbers on Eston Simpson as he takes over with 2 on and 2 out here in the 5th.
Yeah, for Eston Simpson, it's the task is, hey, no more free passes. Let's see if we can get that offense in to score some runs. And that really is what it's going to amount to. It's a fastball slider changeup mix. That fastball 89 to 93 miles an hour.
He's the most experienced of the freshman relievers they've gone to today. And Howard sends that one to left, and Savoy will come in as it holds up for him. And the inning is over. UNC scores 2 more. They leave a pair halfway through this one. It's 9-1 Carolina. First 4 innings for Folger Boas have been very good for the North Carolina junior.
Well, he's done a really nice job of being able to command the fastball. That's been the pitch. Once you start to get on that fastball, he is able to utilize that cutter and the slider to different hitters. He's kind of doing what I thought he would do as a junior, that veteran guy out there, just understanding what is the task. And the key is throw a bunch of strikes, utilize those corners.
Trying to complete 5 innings for just the 3rd time this year as he misses away on the first pitch to Jay Dillard. 9-1-2 due for Clemson, chasing 8 runs, down 9-1 here in the 5th. That one upstairs 2-0. Again, the importance of today, Clemson had a chance to win a series over a top 10 team, boost their resume, get to 6-9 in league with back-to-back series wins before they head to Virginia and then Louisville the next couple of weeks. For North Carolina, a victory would almost surely put them in the top 5 in the polls that come out tomorrow. Texas has already lost their series to Texas A&M. Florida State, who was ranked number 5 in the nation, was swept at Georgia Tech. Oh, by the way, Carolina plays Georgia Tech next weekend at the Bosch.
That's going to be a fun one.
Letter back through the middle and a base hit for Dillard to start the 5th.
And that's what, if I was Clemson, that's kind of what I would be doing. With Boas on the mound, let that ball travel, look for something out over the plate. Doesn't mean that you can't pull that fastball that's out over the plate. You can catch it out in front and still hit it to left center field, but that's where you want to attack him. Something that's out over the big part of the field. If I catch it just a little early, there's my home run to left.
Bryce Clavon is 0 for 1 with a walk. Cleavon's numbers keep ticking up. Power and speed from this center fielder. Clemson yesterday in that 14-inning affair had to run through just about everybody on their bench. They actually put Jaron Purify in as a pinch runner at one point. Purify is out with a broken hand. He was caught stealing. And the next half inning, Cleavon had to move to second base. Talon Bell, who was a two-way star in high school, but is a pitcher only here, ended up playing center field for an inning as they moved everybody around. And Cleavon ended up being the pivot on a double play, and he made a great turn. It was like, all right. Like,
it was a
really
quick
cool
turn on a double play. Got some fast hands.
He is a terrifically talented athlete. Started his college career at Georgia. Wasn't really a spot for him, and so transferred to Clemson. Clemson had been interested in him and talked to him when he was a high schooler. We were talking about Folger Boaz's prowess as a high school football player in North Carolina. Cleavon fouls it away. Cleavon, here's his senior year in high school in Georgia. First team All-State quarterback, 4,300 yards and 44 touchdowns passing for his career. 1,300 yards and 20 touchdowns running. He was going to play football as well at Georgia. He focused only on baseball. I think he's made a good choice.
There's a lot of
really
athleticism in that ball.
Oh, man.
It's fun to watch him out there at center field, too, and what he's able to do.
There's
The
real
routes.
juice in that bat.
Oh, yes, there is. I mean, there's a lot of strength in that body.
The 3-2. Swing and a miss. Chases a breaking ball. That's the first down of the fifth. Strikeout number 6 for Boaz.
Just a really good slider. We talked about it. He has a slider and he has a cutter. They're both very similar. The difference is that there's a lot more depth to the slider than the cutter. That slider is going to work its way down and in to a righty. Try more back foot that you call it. The cutter is going to stay up more and it's going to be more side to side.
Nate Savoy bounces it foul, third base side, the count 0-1. Savoy punched out twice. Power hitting left fielder catcher waits. And throw to first and the runner back.
Yeah, Savoy, his first at bat, struck out on a fastball. His outside corner, it was elevated. The next at bat, Boaz was able to get him with the slider. So he has him with both of his pitches. But here's the thing, if you're going to be aggressive, you got to be aggressive early on. You can't miss those types of pitches that are left out over the plate.
0-2 the count to Savoy. Savoy runs really well. There's a lot of things that he does very well on a baseball field as well. He's had a nice year in his first year of the ACC, leveling up in competition. Bouncer back through the middle. Gallagher to short for one. On to first, not in time. Schefter did everything he could to get the throw to first, but Savoy beat it out.
One of the things, too, with Gallagher is not trying to do too much. A lot of times, second baseman will get this ball because they're playing on the shift and try to make it himself. But he understands, nope, Schefter's coming through. Let me hurry up and get him, at least get that lead runner out. And boy, they almost were able to turn this. Savoy just beating that play out at first.
2 outs for Jack Crichton, who's 0 for 2. 9-1 North Carolina, bottom 5. Crichton to center field, a base hit. Stopping at second is Savoy, and now here comes Luke Gaffney. Gaffney's been swinging a good bat of late for Clemson. They need to cash in one of these big hits they've had. Traffic the last 2 innings against Boaz, but don't have anything to show for it.
Hey, Gaffney hasn't swung the bat bad at all. He lined out to third base to Nicholson in his first AB, then he flew out to center field. So he is seeing the ball well. And this could be a point here where if you're Clemson, to be able to at least get something across.
2 outs, 2 on. Boaz pitch. Misses down low, 1-0. 70 pitches now for Boaz, so he's been very efficient to this point. He's given up half a dozen hits, just one walk. It skipped up there. Stopped by Heineck in the count 2-0. And now it becomes a pretty dangerous pitch for Boaz. Gaffney had a monster freshman year 2 years ago at Purdue, and Scott Forbes is going to come out and say something to Folger Boaz as a right-hander begins to get loose in the North Carolina pen. That's Walker McDuffie, the relief ace.
Yeah, just a little bit longer of an inning, and I like this by Forbes. Kind of going out there and being like, okay, let's calm it down a little bit. It's a 9-1 lead. Let's throw strikes. Let's get that ball across. You don't want to live over the heart of the plate because Gaffney does have the power to be able to hit it out and all of a sudden make this a 9-4 ball game.
Robert Nunez eavesdropping again. And Scott Forbes heads back to the dugout. Now Boaz behind in the count here, 2-0 to Gaffney.
I'll be looking for a fastball out over the plate here.
Up high, 3-0. You don't want to lose Gaffney because Jacob Jarrell is the leading home run hitter for Clemson. He's in the on-deck circle.
And a lot of times in this situation, I'll be saying, let the hitter swing. When you're down by 8, you've got to take.
And he does. It's 3-1.
And that's fine, too. That's not a pitch, anyways, that you would have wanted to swing at 3-0. Down and away, perfect executed pitch. You're looking for something elevated. You're looking for something that you can catch out in front. Still out over the plate.
He lines that one up the alley in left center field. That's going to get down and plug the gap off the wall. One run is home. Racing to third, another man. It's an RBI double for Gaffney, and it's a 9-2 game.
That's just a beautiful at-bat by Gaffney. 3-1 situation. Understanding that that's a hitter's count. I'm going to look for a fastball. I'm going to look for something that's out over the plate. He catches it, and boy, this ball was hit 106 miles an hour off the bat. It was a line drive. I don't think that ball got about 10 feet off the ground the whole way.
Crichton's been dealing with a groin issue, so he had to trot around the bases to get to third. Now here's Jacob Jarrell, and he's looking to trot around the bases and get Clemson back into this game. He swings and misses. Changeup there, it's 0-1.
Oh, beautiful changeup. Being aggressive too early on and understanding that if you're Folger Boaz going, okay, you know what? These guys are being very aggressive early on in the count, especially with that fastball. Let me throw the changeup and see if I can get him out in front.
0-2. Gerald Sr. Been a captain the last couple of years of this Clemson team. Has massive pull power. He bounces it back towards the middle. There's Gallagher, who will throw to first in time to get him. And the inning is over. Clemson gets a run, but they leave a pair. We head to the sixth. It's 9-2 North Carolina. 9-2 Carolina as we head to the 6th. Here's how we got here. Gavin Gallagher, a 2-run homer off starter Drew Titsworth in the first. Clemson got a run back on this opposite field double from Jason Fultz Jr. And then in the 4th, that's when North Carolina really busted things open. Owen Hull's 3-run home run, part of a 5-run frame. They tacked on 2 more in the second. Macon Winslow doubling into the bullpen and then coming around to score on this base hit. Clemson just got a run back on this double from Luke Gaffney. And it's 9-2 North Carolina as the tractor race is going on between innings here. The most fun that you can have at under 4 miles an hour.
I didn't like that he was cutting her off, though, in the big tractor thingy.
I got a feeling that's a little big brother, little sister
You got to
vibes there.
sister win when you're the big brother.
No.
You act like you're going to win, and then you pull up at the end. That's how it works.
I don't know. I don't know that you're going to let your. What do you really want to teach them that they don't need to have? That they don't need to compete to win?
To your little sister, yes. Your little brother, absolutely not. You tear him down.
Why, Gabby? It doesn't sound like you have experience of that.
I was the little brother.
How's the therapy bills on? Cooper Nicholson leads off for Carolina here in the 6th.
I didn't have it. He had to earn it.
I was the oldest brother, so I would never have done that to my younger brothers. I love them so much.
But if you had a sister, yeah, you would have. See, that's what changes.
Not going to comment on that. 2-0. Count 3-0 to Nicholson. (9-2) North Carolina here in the top of the 6th. And Nicholson draws a leadoff walk. Wednesday is Jackie Robinson Day, and a special ESPN telecast comes for you. The Mets and Dodgers finishing their 3-game series with Joe Buck, Ron Darling, and Oral Hershiser on the call. Coverage begins 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, with Carl Ravitch and the Baseball Tonight crew from Dodger Stadium. Shohei Ohtani, by the way, is the scheduled starter for the Dodgers for the 2-time defending World Series champions. You want to tune in for that on Wednesday night. Carl was in Boston yesterday with the great Mike Rooney doing the ALS awareness game at Fenway Park between Boston College and Virginia Tech. BC does a terrific job at that all year. Obviously, the Pete Frates Foundation, very important. Pete Frates, former captain of the BC team who died from ALS. He was the man behind the Ice Bucket Challenge. Always raises awareness. That's a really special day. And BC won on a pretty thrilling defensive play to end it, back-picking a guy at third for the final out.
Back-picking a guy who wasn't paying attention, who walks back to third base, kind of thinking nobody's going to do anything. And, boy, Boston College took advantage of that one.
Jimmy Bellinger going to make a mound visit here. There is action in the Clemson pen. The pitching coach for Clemson Tigers heading out there is Noah Samuel. The junior left-hander begins to get loose.
And I mean, there's a big reason why. And when we talked to Eric Baggage, he explained every single leadoff hitter in every inning has reached base for UNC. A lot of those, too, have been some free passes. That's not what you want out of your bullpen. You don't want your bullpen coming out and all of a sudden just giving out free passes, especially in a 9-2 ball game. And I think that's the message that's going out there of like, hey, we cannot keep doing this.
2-0 to the freshman Nunez. He takes down low in the count 3-0. By contrast, Clemson's had the leadoff man on just once today. Now 3-0 to Nunez, and he takes a strike to count 3-1. Nunez is the godson of Rafael Furcal, the former All-Star shortstop.
Played against him a bunch.
Speed and power
and an arm. Oh my goodness, what an absolute rocket from shortstop. Whew. Little guy, too.
Yeah, he was probably, what, 5'6", 5'7",
It was,
maybe?
but boy, he could throw a baseball.
He played at a different speed than everybody else, too. I mean, he was fast.
He was fun to watch, fun to play against.
Well, yeah, because you were standing at first catching the throw. If you'd been on the left side of the infield, I don't think it was much fun.
I didn't have to worry about anything. Just catch the ball.
3-2, outside ball 4. Back-to-back walks to start the North Carolina 6th.
And I feel like we're going to see another pitching change here.
We are. Eric Bakich is stalking out of the dugout now.
He's not even going to wait. He's just go. You could tell that he is not happy. He's very upset. He knows what this game means.
Clemson had to work so hard to get one of those runs back, and now North Carolina has 2 aboard with nobody out in the 6th inning and a pitching change coming. I'll tell you about the new Clemson pitcher in a moment. It's all North Carolina so far today.
It's definitely important. My mom actually played at UNC Chapel Hill. She played softball there, and I actually grew up going to some of the games there. So definitely a little personal, like kind of connection to UNC. So I mean, beating them is always pretty fun.
Jacob Jarrell, the co-captain of this Clemson team, the catcher, talking about his mom, Melissa, a longtime college softball coach as well. She was the head coach at UNC Wilmington from 2002 to 2008. Before that, she was at Rhode Island, and she was at UC San Diego as well. But she starred at North Carolina. So this one a little bit more personal for the Jarrells. Things have not gone so well today for Clemson. You see his mom. You wonder
where he got his catching skills.
I believe it was, I think I used this last year, but I think it was Steve Sabins, the coach at West Virginia, who called them the tools of intelligence. I think it's such a
got that completely wrong.
Oh, I don't know. Let's say if you're following mom's footsteps, it's a pretty smart kid, right?
That is very true.
Especially when she's as accomplished a coach as she is. Schaffner bats, the leadoff man in the North Carolina order, takes a strike. It's 0-1. On base 3 times today, scored a couple of runs. Stolen a base, caught stealing. Noah Samuel is in.
Boy, Samuel, huge on the mound. 6'7" lefty. 13 strikeouts, only 2 base on balls. He's a strike thrower. He's going to go right after hitters. 9 2/3 innings pitched. Opponents hitting 250 off of him. That's a slider, changeup, and a fastball. That fastball will top out roughly around 89, 91 miles an hour.
Transfer from Georgia Tech. The 0-2. Schaffner taps it foul. See the line on Schaffner, the transfer from North Dakota State a season ago. Schaffner, a native of Janesville, Wisconsin. That's the southwest corner of the state, Gabby. Schaffner in the air to left. Savoy going back. He's got room for out number 1. Bluffing from second as Nicholson went out.
I didn't know there was going to be a test today. Geography.
One of us may or may not have stopped multiple times at the one fast food restaurant that there is in Janesville, Wisconsin.
It was not me. So I'm guessing that's you.
I didn't realize we were going to single anybody out.
What fast food was it?
Taco Bell.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you were in a car ride?
So Janesville
was a road trip?
Depending on which route you took, Janesville was about halfway between my hometown and where I went to college in Dubuque, Iowa. So I spent a lot of time in Janesville, upstairs, Wall 1.
And how long was the commute after the Taco Bell to where you needed to get to?
Well, shockingly, we drove faster second half. But I think it's just because we were excited to get back to school.
Yeah, that's exactly what
it was. Striking the count 1-1 to Gallagher. Gavin Gallagher, a 2-run home run in the first inning. Also walked and scored already his 5th plate appearance of this game. We're only in the 6th. Here's the 1-1. Inside, 2-1 to Gallagher. Runners get their lead at first and second. Three and 1, the count to Gallagher.
And now you got to pay the piper. Gallagher, he's starting to swing the bat. Home run already today. And he's not going to be trying to swing to get a base hit. I will tell you that on this 3-1 cut if he's able to get a strike.
Ball 4 and the bases are loaded. The walks today have been pretty uncharacteristic for this Clemson team. I mean, they have pitched so well this season, but this is a little bit unusual for them.
It's crazy, too, because, I mean, they brought out Joe Allen, a guy that has been kind of a staple in that bullpen, who's been able to always get outs. And I tell you what, UNC did a really nice job against him, but then everybody else, it just seems like they haven't been able to control that strike zone.
Bases loaded for Paulson. Paulson chops it foul, count 0-1. Paulson, really good career at Stony Brook before joining the Tar Heels this year. His first team All-CAA last year. He was the Conference Rookie of the Year in 2024 as a two-way player. He also was a closer for the Seawolves with half a dozen saves. It's down low, 1-1. He has not pitched in a game since April of last year. I think when you end up being a power-hitting first-team offensive performer, maybe the best defensive first baseman on the East Coast, signals the two-way days are going to go away. The 1-1. That one on the ground. Dillard to second for 1. Lichtenberger will eat it there. It's an RBI ground out for Paulson, and UNC extends the lead. It's 10-2. That'll bring up Macon Winslow. Winslow serving as the DH today, the Duke transfer. North Carolina needing an experienced catcher with Luke Stevenson getting drafted last year. A pretty good run of backstops there. And Winslow, who entered the transfer portal when basically everybody left the Duke team for Virginia, decided to stay in the Triangle. Coaching change there with Chris Pollard going to Virginia, and most of that Duke roster that was eligible to went with him. One bounce foul.
Yeah, there's a reason why we looked at that Virginia team, and boy, they can do it.
Winslow really started to put it together last year. He had some big hits for the Blue Devils. They were a win away from Omaha last year. He's a very good two-way player. Had an excellent defensive reputation in high school. He was a perfect game All-American. And he swings and misses that breaking ball in the dirt, and Sample does a nice job to get out of the inning. North Carolina gets a run. They leave a pair through 5.5. It's all Tar Heels are up 10-2. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Little putters here at Doug Kingsmore Stadium, Clemson, South Carolina. Get that kid a clown's mouth, will you?
He's got to choke up on that golf on the putter. It's way too long.
Oh, yeah, he likes the ball away.
Wants to get extension on it.
Tyler Lichtenberger hit by a pitch to start the bottom of the sixth with Clemson down 10-2. Beautiful day for baseball here in Clemson. It has not been so beautiful for the Clemson Tigers fans. Here's what this one sounded like. Lichtenberger.
Yeah, right off the elbow guard.
He's moving like
it's still. Yeah, that's the thing is that everybody will look at him in the elbow guard and like, oh, well, he got him in the guard. It still hurts. Like you're gonna still feel it. It's just gonna hurt less.
Change the elbow guard for the oven mitt. Dives back in. Not sure that he's going to be running down 8, but you never know. Jason Fultz Jr. has an RBI double in this game. Freshman third baseman. Tossed to first and the runner back. This game very important for Clemson today. They're going to have to get into their offense here very soon, as we're going to get a bound visit here with action in the North Carolina pen. 5 innings is the longest outing of Boaz this season. He's trying to get an out here in the 6th at least. Matty Mateus, the senior, getting loose. But this is an important game for Clemson. We'll tell you more about why in a moment. Today is the final day of the NBA regular season, and playoff positioning is on the line in these 2 big games. ESPN doubleheader starts at 6 Eastern with the Magic and Celtics. The Spurs host the Nuggets. Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Shaq tip off coverage at 5, and they'll be back at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific to break it all down and everything else that was big in the association today. Carolina trying to get into the top 5 of the polls. They will almost certainly do that with a win. Clemson has much more at stake, Gabby, just in that the 5-9 start in conference play has made things difficult for them as it stands right now if they want to earn another regional bid. And Scott Forbes, I think now after that mound visit, is going to make a pitching change here. The head coach for North Carolina. Gonna take plenty of time here before going to Manny Mateus, the right-hander in the bullpen.
And you're talking about Clemson, and you're right. If they're not able to come back in this ball game, that's going to be 5-10 in conference. There's going to be a lot of room that they have to try to make up. You would have to think that they would have to at least get to that 16 win mark. Is that what you would think?
I think 14 wins in the ACC might make it happen if your RPI was good enough. Yeah, I think.
And the might is the word.
Right.
So I would say, 16, yes. 15, you're in that little spot where you're like, we probably should be making, especially with how good ACC baseball is this year and the type of, teams that you're having to play against week in and week out.
Manny Mateus coming in for Carolina. We'll tell you about the right-hander in a moment. It's 10-2 Carolina in the sixth. Five innings, a one-run ball for Folger Boaz on this Sunday. These are the 10-2 lead, responsible for the runner at first. Overall, a pretty solid performance from the Sunday starter. Did give up 7 hits, but only walked 1. A couple batters, but I think you take that on a Sunday every day.
Absolutely. You look at the positives in things, and for me, for Folger Boaz, the positive one, he was able to stay in the zone with that fastball. He worked from side to side. He did give up 7 hits. He only walked 1. He only gave up 2 earned runs. And if you are a Sunday starter in ACC baseball and that's your line at the end of it, I guarantee you that every single one of the head coaches in ACC baseball would love that line.
Manny Mateus, the senior right-hander, is on. Things starting to trend in the right direction for him. Last year missed the end of the season with an Army injury. He has been one of the more valued relievers the last 3 years in the ACC. The senior's first pitch is fouled back and out of play. It's 0-1. He is a guy that his head coach, Scott Forbes, just absolutely loves. He loves talking about him. He loves being able to use him. And he loves that things are starting to move in a positive direction for him. Maybe not as electric as some of the velocities you'll see from the other arms there, but it is a little bit funky with that arm slot.
It's funky with the arm slot. It's a fastball cutter. He does throw a curveball. But it's the way that he attacks the hitters. He'll just go right after. He's like a bulldog on the mound. It's not, like you said, it's not this electric 97, 98 miles an hour coming out of a bullpen, but it's a guy who knows how to pitch. It's a funky arm angle. He kind of crossfires a little bit, loves to throw to that outside corner of the plate. He'll start on that third base side of the rubber.
falling behind 3-1 here. The pitch. And he misses high, ball 4, and so Clemson getting a rally going. 2 on, nobody out in the last of the 6th, trailing by 8.
And that's only his 5th free pass in 16 2/3 innings of work. He doesn't really walk anybody, so that's something that's uncharacteristic with Mateus on the mound.
First and second, nobody out for Jackson Moore, the freshman, 0 for 2. A strike, and the count 0-1. With this, I know they're down at the bottom of the lineup, Gabby, but this feels like Clemson's been gifted an opportunity to get back into this ball game right now.
Hey, listen, the bottom of the lineup has been actually getting some hits for Clemson.
Roller to second, and they'll get the middleman, that's it. Gallagher will cut down the runner going to second, Fultz, for out number 1.
Just a really nice job, too, by Gallagher, understanding that this ball is probably not going to be a double play. So just make sure that you get that lead runner at second base. You get the fielder's choice, you keep the double play in order.
Runners at the corners, 1 out for Jay Dillard, the Anderson, South Carolina native, just down the road here. First pitch to the senior, takes down and in, 1-0. I don't know if that's fair to call him a senior. He's really a graduate student. Jay Dillard got his degree in 3 years in sports communication. The 1-0. A strike to the count, 1-1.
That's impressive.
Took me 4.5 years to get the same degree.
I need to go back. I need to finish mine.
What did you accomplish in 3 years? I was a 5th-round draft pick, Major League All-Star, but no big deal. Pitch in the dirt, count 2-1.
Shortchanging me around. It was the 4th round.
Sorry, 4th round. But you got 5th round money. No.
It's true. Still made it. I wanted to go back. And then they told me all the work. I was like, oof, that's a lot.
Popped up. Foul territory, first base side. It's a first baseman, Paulson, near the dugout. Makes the catch, a big second out.
Wow, that's a big out. Paulson, very nice job understanding where he's at on the field. It's close to that dugout fence and reaches over and makes the play.
2 outs, runners at the corners for Bryce Clavon. This is the bat. This is really the chance that Clemson has now. Clavon 0 for 2 with a walk. He's been swinging a hot bat as of late. He has the power to get them back in this game. They need a huge hit down 8 in the 6th. Pitch outside, 1-0, because you know North Carolina is licking its chops. They're going to do everything they can to put this game out of reach and be up by 10 when you get to the bottom of the 7th. So this is a huge opportunity to not just extend this, but to give Clemson some hope. A strike on the outside corner. It's 1-1. The pitch. Called strike at the count, 1-2. And now Mateus 1 strike away from getting out of this. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. Pitch misses outside and count 2-2 now to Clavon.
Yeah, he went with the curveball. Try to get the swing and the miss, see if Clavon would kind of expand the zone there with 2 strikes. Clavon does not.
2-2. Liner fair inside the bag at first and down the right field line into the corner. 1 run is home. Comes another man being waved around third. He will score the throw to third. Clavon is safe. It's a 2-run triple. And Clemson now trails 10-4. Nice Clavon delivering on that 2-strike triple the other way.
I mean, just a great at-bat. Tried to get him back again with the breaking ball, with the curveball on the outside corner. This time Clavon is looking for it, stays on it, drives it to right field. I was a little confused there because Nunez missed his cutoff completely. Actually threw it to the middle of the field to Schaffner, who ends up throwing it to third. But Clavon ends up sliding in safely.
10-4, and here's Savoy. Now, you do not want to make a mistake if you're Mateus to Savoy, because he has the power to make this very interesting. Here comes the 1-0. A strike and the count 1-1. Savoy, 11 home runs, second on this team. Massive raw power from the right-handed hitter. And he lines it into left. It's a base hit. Clavon scores. It's bobbled by Howe. Savoy heading to second, and he's in there with a slide. It's a 10-5 game.
That's Savoy all over this fastball. It looked like earlier in the game, he was kind of reluctant of swinging at fastballs, almost like sitting on off speed. This time, he was right on time on that fastball, gets the bat head out, hits it to left, 110 miles an hour off the bat. That ball misplayed by Howe in left field, and because of that, Savoy is able to get himself into scoring position.
And now Scott Forbes heading out to the mound to visit with Mateus. He's got a right-hander getting loose in the bullpen. That's Walker McDuffie, who threw 2 innings yesterday. That's their relief ace. McDuffie last weekend against BC appeared in all 3 games. The sophomore right-hander continuing to toss. The error on the left fielder Howe might end up being big too, because it allowed Savoy to get to scoring position. And we have another pitching change here. 10-5 North Carolina. Clemson still threatening with 2 outs in the 6th. Nate Savoy delivered the base hit that got Clemson within 5. On Friday night he did this. Look out! Landing it on our scissor lip. David White, our center field camera operator here at Clemson, has accumulated quite a collection of baseballs over the years. This one he got autographed from Nate Savoy, a 435-foot blast. We were here last year when Jacob Jarrell hit one up there. Oh, he's going to run the ball to work. Did it bring the ball?
There he did.
Yeah, I'll be darned.
There it is.
Is that a good luck charm for you, David? You keep it up there?
He's laughing. I saw him laugh.
That's great. Yeah, last year.
His head on a swivel up there. The balls are coming in hot.
We were here for the Stanford series last year. I think it was the same weekend. I want to say it was Masters weekend last year when we were here too, right? And Jacob Gerald hit a ball up there. So it must be when we come to town, we know that someone is going to hit a ball
and
onto the.
Try to get David White out there in center field. That's an unfortunate position for him.
It's like if you have to, they do the dunk tanks right at the carnival. That's the David White dunk tank weekend. Walker McDuffie is on through 2 innings yesterday in the 14-inning win for Carolina, facing Jack Crichton off the end of the bat, back to the mound, and McDuffie 1 pitch, and he gets Carolina out of the jam. The Clemson gets them way back in this game. They get 3 runs. We head to the 7th. It's 10-5 North Carolina. Gabby, how's your short game?
Probably about like that. I'm hitting line drives over that net all day long. I could drive the ball. That's my short game's
drive for show, putt for no. North Carolina trying to get back to Omaha. Last there in 2024. You see the best starts in program history. This is one of them, 29-6-1 for Scott Forbes' team. Led that 2024 squad. They are on the short list of most trips to Omaha without an NCAA men's baseball championship. Trying to rectify that. Owen Hulls had a good day at the plate. Carolina leads 10-5, a 3-run homer, an RBI base hit for the left-handed hitter. He takes a ball high, 1-0. Noah Samuel was able to get out of the top of the 6th without a ton of damage, and it's let Clemson kind of scratch their way back in. Count 1-1.
It's one thing, though, that you could kind of look at this Clemson team, and a team could have easily just folded. All of a sudden, you're down 10-2. It was 10-1, and you're like, this game's not going to go the way we want it to go. But I love that they kept fighting, and they're still putting up good at-bats. Because of that, all of a sudden, now you're making it a game again.
Well, Eric Bakich teams don't tend to fold the tent. Hull to left, going back on at Savoy, and he stumbles at the terrace, and it'll fall in and be an extra base hit. 4th hit of the game for Hull, and it's a double. We've referenced the terrace a couple times. If you're not familiar with Doug Kingsmore Stadium, there is a berm instead of a warning track, and it looked like it was right at the lip of that Savoy lost his footing.
The other thing, too, is that ball had a lot of tail going to that left field line. The wind's starting to blow in just a little bit. And I don't think that Savoy kind of realized that, kind of had himself out of place. So when he went to go try to plant that foot, it came up from underneath him.
Tossed to second. Dillard was just close enough to the bag to avoid a balk call there. It's Colin Heineck. I have to think that first step onto the terrace is the trickiest, right? Like
it's that first step, yeah. Once you get that first step on, now your body already recognizes, okay, this is what's happening.
When you're kind of circling like that, you step funny, and
well,
even if you know where you are.
Right, it's just that. You go to step, and all of a sudden your foot is not where you think it should be, and gets pulled from underneath you.
A pitch to Heineck. Has a hit in 4 trips today, popped up to first. Gaffney makes the catch. That's the first out. Hull will hold at second. Now it becomes a big inning for Samuel to keep that runner there and give Clemson's bats a chance in the 7th inning. North Carolina was leading 10-2. Led 9-1 and 10-2. Tyler Howe has a single. He's also walked, have been hit by a pitch. Committed an error last inning that allowed Savoy to get an extra base. Pick off the second, and Hull was not expecting that. Now at 10-5, it might be a situation where Carolina is thinking about running. They're going to need probably a couple more runs to feel comfortable here. Lined up the alley in left center field. That's going to get down. It's a base hit. Savoy bobbles it. It'll allow the runner Hull to come home and score easily. And Howe goes to second on the RBI base hit. It's 11-5. It's a really nice job by the freshman today. He's been on base 4 times.
Hey, this UNC offense, boy, they're relentless. Doesn't matter that they just gave up 3. It was like, we're just going to come back and get those runs back on the board. Beautiful job of letting that ball get deep and travel. Off-speed pitch, staying on it, driving it the opposite way. Yeah, it's Savoy, Claiborne. Miscommunication out there, both trying to make the play. Ball gets down.
Nicholson hit by a pitch for the 2nd time today. He's been on base 4 times, 2 walks, 2 hit by pitch. And it puts a pair on for Jaden Nunez.
Nicholson, the only guy in the lineup without a hit, but he's been on base 4 times. 0 for 1 on the day.
So how are you feeling about yourself as a hitter, if that's the case?
Well, right now you're hurting because you just got hit. Not only once, but twice in the ball game. But these situations, when you're 0 for 1 and you've been on 4 times, you're like, it doesn't matter. I mean, I've been on base 4 of the 5 times. I'm doing just fine.
Eric Bakich heading to the mound as there's action in the Clemson bullpen. Brendan Bennett, freshman lefty, getting loose. Let's see if Bakich takes the ball from Samuel here. 11-5, North Carolina leads. Just got one of the runs that Clemson scored in the 6th back. Robert Nunez on his way out. And it is a pitching change here. So Bennett's on his way in. 11-5, North Carolina in the 7th. Brendan Bennett is the new pitcher for Clemson. He takes over with a pair on and one out. Very good numbers for this freshman so far this year.
Yeah, you can see why Eric Bakich is going to Brendan Bennett in this situation, going, okay, enough is enough. Let me bring in a guy that has been throwing the ball extremely well. 1.50 ERA, 18 strikeouts over 12 innings of work. Slider heavy. You see a bunch of sliders. Will throw it about 44% of the time. That's a good fastball. His fastball is going to range anywhere between 93 and 95 miles an hour. He's got more than that left in the tank whenever he wants to. You can even bring out a 96. He does have a curveball to go along with it, but it's going to be mostly that slider and fastball that you'll see here today.
So Bennett takes over with 2 on and 1 out. North Carolina leading 11-5. Jaden Nunez 1 for 3, a single, a walk for the freshman outfielder. It's a player that North Carolina is very excited about. Been kind of in and out of the lineup over the last month or so, but they are trying to get somebody established at the bottom of the order. They can handle one of the corner outfield spots, and his last 2 days, coming off the bench yesterday and then today, have been very good. It's another pick attempt to second. Bennett set. And the first pitch. Nunez takes a strike. It's 0-1.
And there's the slider. You're going to see a whole mess of sliders. Against righties, he will utilize the curveball and the changeup. Against lefties, it's going to predominantly be a bunch of sliders, occasional fastball.
Nunez to center. There's Clavon who makes the catch. That's out number 2. The runners hold.
Yeah, that was well struck by Nunez, so can't be mad at that. Ball leaves about at 103 miles an hour, line out to center field, staying back on that slider.
Jake Schaffner's 6th plate appearance of this game. First pitch. He takes in the dirt. The count 1-0.
It's crazy when you look at your scorecard, and Schaffner has been up every single inning up to bat except for the third.
Yeah.
That's the only inning that he didn't come up to hit, and he was in the hole.
14 hits for North Carolina, and yet they're still in a bit of a dogfight here. Up a half a dozen. I don't know that a 6-run lead on a Sunday is ever all that comfortable.
It's not, especially in a ballpark that will allow home runs. And you have on the other side a team that is just not going to give up.
Checks. There you go. No swing. And the count 1-1. Runners get their lead. The pitch. Schaffner to center. Drifting into left center is Clavon, who will make the catch. And the inning is over. Carolina gets a run, but they leave a pair. Time to stretch in Clemson with North Carolina leading 11-5.
goes.
It's 11-5 North Carolina as we play the bottom of the 7th inning. Immediately following this game on ESPN2, Radford will take on High Point. The beginning of that game will start on ESPNU. Kevin Fitzgerald, in the face of college baseball, Mike Rooney, standing by from High Point, North Carolina, to bring you that action this evening. We're watching on our way to the airport. Actually, we'll be listening.
We'll be listening.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend.
Can't watch that as we're driving.
Right. That would be unsafe. Luke Gaffney will lead off for Clemson. They got a 3-spot in the 6th to get them back in the game. They are going to need to rally against one of the top relievers in the ACC in Walker McDuffie. The question is going to be, how much can McDuffie pitch today, Gabby? He did go 2 innings yesterday through 40 pitches. One of the 3 pitchers they used. He did not pitch for a week after throwing in all 3 games of the Boston College Series last weekend. This is inside, the count 2-0.
I would be very surprised if they let him go to another 40-pitch mark. But I feel like they're going to let him run, and they'll probably be looking at the velo, making sure that it's still up there.
Upstairs, well, it's down a little bit here at 90-91. It'll count 3-0.
And that was one of the things I was looking at. Usually that fastball is playing anywhere like 93, 94 miles an hour. He likes to throw that slider as well. Does have the changeup. But right now, he's kind of working that fastball velocity, ain't where he wants it to be.
And a leadoff walk to Gaffney to start the Clemson 7th. Left fielder Carter French takes over in left field for Howe. And for defense, the 6-run lead. There's Jacob Jarrell. Jarrell, who leads the club with 13 home runs, waits. He tries to hold up on a breaking ball, missed. It's 0-1. Here comes the 0-1. The pitch. A swing and a pop-up. Third base side, yeah, very high in the air. Nicholson makes a catch for the first out.
And that's what we call a big league pop-up. That ball had some hang time.
Carter French last night made this catch. It was one of the SportsCenter top plays, made number 2. Look at this at the end of the game last night.
Oh, reaching over and making the play.
Took it away from the fans of the bullpen area down the third baseline. It's one of the features here at Doug Kingsmore. Tapper back to the mound off the glove of McDuffie. There's going to be no play. Everybody is safe. McDuffie leaping for that ball. I don't know if it was hit hard enough that if it gets through, it's a potential double play, but Clemson gets a break either way.
Yeah, that's one where you want your pitcher to kind of stay out of it. You're telling McDuffie, if you can catch it cleanly right at you, go ahead. But if you're going to have to try to jump and make a spectacular play, let your defense behind you make it. Because he didn't, that ball hits off the corner of his glove and ends up finding some green area, and all of a sudden, now Clemson, I'm telling you what, they're just not going to give up. They're going to keep battling. They're going to keep doing whatever they can to get guys on base.
Freshman Fultz on base for the 4th time today now, and the bases are loaded for Jackson Moore. And he had a massive 3-run home run on Friday night. Well, what looked like it was a laugher is suddenly turning into a very tense afternoon for North Carolina. Brian Gaines, pitching coach for North Carolina, the associate head coach, is going to go out and pay a visit to McDuffie here.
By the way, 6 hit by pitches today.
There is action in the North Carolina bullpen. The left-hander, the freshman Jackson Rose, continuing to get loose. Duffy needed just 1 pitch to get his out in the 6th, but now 8 pitches to 4 batters in this inning. So it's not like he's thrown that many pitches. Half of those were the walk to lead off the frame, but of a sudden he's gotten himself into a big jam here.
Now, he's still just a ground ball away of getting out of it.
It's also a deep fly ball away from this game suddenly turning on its head.
And he's also a home run away from all of a sudden being an 11-9 ball game.
First pitch to Moore. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. Moore's first collegiate home run and 4 RBI performance helped Clemson to a Game 1 win. The 0-1. Upstairs, 1-1. Clemson at 5-9 in league needs a comeback victory today. They are hoping to keep their regional streak alive. They need to do it. Winning more conference games. Soft liner to short, caught by Schaffner. And the flip not in time, 2 outs.
A great job, though, by Lichtenberger to be able to read that and understand it's going to get caught and hustle back to second base. I've seen plenty of times with bases loaded, a ball gets hit and Moore hits this one towards the end of the bat, and all of a sudden the runner on second takes an extended secondary, and because of that, that's a double play. Very smart job of realizing it and hustling back to second to let your team have another at-bat with bases loaded.
Jay Dillard 1 for 3. The senior takes a strike. It's 0-1. So the grad student takes a strike. Dillard not with much power. Forced into action in part because of the injuries that they've had on the infield to Purify and McClatty. The 0-1. Takes a strike in the count 0-2. Bases loaded, 2 outs, last of the 7th. The pitch in the dirt. Good stop. Heineck able to get the body in front of it. It's 1-2.
Boy, you got a lot of trust in your catcher behind home plate and Heineck. That ball was dirted. A slider 82 miles an hour in front of home plate, and Heineck just easily keeps that ball in front of him.
Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Backup breaking ball. Dillard swung through it, and Clemson leaves them loaded in the 7th. McDuffie gets out of the jam with this. They head to the 8th. It's 11-5, North Carolina. See, it's always nice when you get food at the ballpark to share.
No, he doesn't want any. He's like, dude, your
fries.
hand's been all over that. I don't need that. I got my own nachos over here.
He's gonna get up and leave now.
Fine, you don't want it, I'm out
out
of here.
share. I tried to share with everybody in the section. There's bacon on this.
Don't throw it away now.
No, that's recycling. No, that's...
He is throwing it. Oh, let's
bring it up here.
go.
We'll finish it. Oh, and then he licked his hand.
Maybe we'll
Do that in private. 11-5, North Carolina as we start the 8th. Gavin Gallagher to lead things off, and he takes the first pitch inside. It's 1-0. It has been an uncharacteristically wild game on the mound for Clemson. 5 hit by pitches, 7 walks in their pitching. They're one of the better control staffs in the country, top 20 in walk percentage. And yet that has helped to contribute to 11 runs for North Carolina. They have led since this man hit a 2-run home run in the first inning. Gavin Gallagher been on base 3 times. Just a ton of base runners today for North Carolina. Scott Forbes was talking about how many base runners they had and how they hadn't cashed them in. And he was happy to have the base runners, right? Like, the more you get guys on, the more eventually it's going to turn.
Say, at some point, you will knock in those runners, and you can't knock in the runners if there's nobody on base.
They've scored 11 times today. I would think he's in a little better mood about it. 3-1 the count. Here comes the pitch. Fouled in and out of the glove of Gerald. I would say that Gallagher took a pretty big cut at that. He spun around.
I think Gallagher was, he was looking to see if he could leave the yard again and got a fastball up in the zone and realized, oh, I'm not going to be able to touch that one.
That's like a tornado.
We call that the Bugs Bunny. Cork yourself into the ground on that swing.
3-2. Just does get a piece. Now, Gallagher trying to extend an interesting streak today. North Carolina has had the leadoff man reach safely in every inning to this point.
Oh, I had that one in my back pocket if he would have reached. I was waiting to see what was going to happen here. You jumped the gun on me, partner.
We've got a great stats.
We do have a great stats.
Karen took care of us, so.
Karen was all over it.
It's always in my corner. 3-2, upstairs, ball 4. Do you want to give your stat now?
Well, every single inning, the leadoff runner has reached base for UNC.
You don't say.
There you have Scott Forbes on the UNC side, very happy with his team. You got Eric Backage with his side, who probably wants to make the pitchers run a whole bunch after this ball game.
Yeah, this is... we're running foul poles after this, it feels like. See Backage with the great Jack Leggett in front of him, the Hall of Fame Clemson legend. Paulson to first. Gaffney steps on the bag for 1. And now they'll get Gallagher in a rundown, and he gets around the tag. Gallagher stopping between first and second, I think, did enough to confuse Gaffney on that and got him the extra 90 feet.
Gaffney did the right thing. Goes, touch first base, turn around to fire. He realized that Gallagher wasn't going, but you got to give up the ball right away. You want him, if he's going to be running anywhere, it's going to be running back towards first base. You don't want him running towards second. Once you made him stop, you give up the ball to the middle infield and let them run him back.
Aiken Winslow pops it up on the infield. Lichtenberger will make the catch round number 2. So second out. And here's Owen Hull. It's been a big day for the center fielder. He is a triple shy of the cycle.
4 RBIs on the day. Hit that 3-run homer. Got another base hit with an RBI back in the 5th.
First pitch misses outside, 1-0.
And if you're going to get a triple in this ballpark, I feel like you're going to have to hit that ball towards that right field line.
That's where Bryce Cleavon had his. I think there is one other option here.
You hit a home run and you don't touch the ball.
No, and he's going to take a 5th hit of the game. Gallagher around third, heading home. He will score. On his way to second is Hull. An RBI single. He's knocked in 5. What a big day for the transfer from George Mason. 5 hits and a 12-5 North Carolina lead.
And have yourself a day, Owen Hall. My goodness. 5 RBIs, another base hit with an RBI there. Great job, too, reading the throw, saying, I'm going to get myself into scoring position as well. Gets an off-speed pitch, drives it out to right field.
First pitch is a strike to Colin Heineck. It's 0-1. 5 for 6 with a double, a homer, and 5 RBIs. And Hull leads this team in runs batted in despite the fact that he has just 2 homers. Heineck pops it up. Coming in and making the grab is the right fielder Moore, and the inning is over. Carolina gets a run. They lead 12-5 as we head to the bottom of the 8th.
Denver.
12-5 Carolina. Here's their upcoming schedule. They'll have UNC Wilmington on Tuesday night, and then a huge series at the Bosch next weekend as they welcome in number 3 Georgia Tech. Week after that, Gabby and I will be in Durham for the opener of that 3-game set. Well, I'll tell you, that Coastal Carolina game on the 28th, that's going to be a really fun one. I'm excited to go see Coastal next Saturday when they take on Georgia State. That went from a team that was just dominant on the mound. You know, they've had a lot of pitching issues from the team that was largely back from last year's national runner-up. Cam Fluke has been out. Hayden Johnson's out for the center of the season. But this Coastal team still has a ton of arms, and they can really hit. That's going to be a fun one. 12-5, North Carolina leads Clemson as we play the bottom of the 8th. Walker McDuffie's first pitch is a strike. It's 0-1. I like those non-conference games.
Especially when you're talking about a team that's ranked in the top 25.
One that nearly won the national title last year. 2 wins shy of it. Bryce Cleavon is a 2-run triple today, and he bounces this one into the teeth of the shift. Jake Schaffner will throw him out. Leadoff man gone in the Clemson 8th. Here's Nate Savoy.
Nate Savoy, nice base hit in his last at-bat. Stayed on a fastball, drove in a run. With a lot of power, fun to watch. They are playing him straight up pull mode. So he has a whole bunch of room on that right side of the field.
Takes a strike, it's 0-1. McDuffie worked out of a bases loaded jam in the 7th as you see the defense set for Savoy.
A lot of room. I would have loved this in college. Just, all right, you're going to give me a hit. I'm going to let this ball travel a little bit and hit go the opposite way.
Well, especially down 7. You need base runners, right?
Home run, yeah, it's nice. You make it 12-6, and now you're down by 6, but all of a sudden you get some base runners on. You put a little bit of pressure on that UNC defense. Who knows what happens?
The 1-1. And the count 1-2. A loss today for Clemson, and certainly every out that gets recorded now with them down 7 feels like that is getting closer and closer. if it does happen and they drop this series, you touched on this earlier, the path for them to get to the postseason is going to become that much more difficult. Swing and a miss. 2 outs. And I say that because, you know, obviously, listen, 5 and 10, you can see that, but
good slider by McDuffie there.
But if you're Clemson, this was a huge chance for you to get a big RPI win. The RPI not in great shape for the Tigers. Win a top 10 series at home, and perhaps most importantly, pick up a 6th conference win. I think you made the comment earlier. It probably is going to take around 14 wins in league to get there. I mean, we have seen a 16-win team get left out.
Yep.
Louisville 2 years ago, in part because of where their RPI was. Clemson's RPI improved this weekend. It's in the 30s now, but their remaining schedule is at Virginia, at Louisville, home against Boston College, home against Florida State, and at Virginia Tech. And so you've got a ranked team in Boston College, a ranked team in Virginia, a team that went to Omaha last year, and the Cinderella story this year in the ACC in Boston College over the next 4 conference weekends. 1-2 down low, 2-2.
It's not going to be easy, but there is a road. This game would have meant a lot to them if they were able to win 2 out of 3 against UNC. But now let's say the way that it's looking or not, you're still going to have to play against a Virginia team who's going to be ranked in the top 25.
Swing and a miss. Creighton down on strikes in a 1-2-3 inning for McDuffie. To the 9th we go. North Carolina leading 12-5. (12-5) Carolina. Scott Forbes' team has come through offensively today. As you see, 8 walks, a couple of homers, 15 hits. They have sent a lot of men to the plate. They're going to get at least 6 times through the entire order today. That is a lot of plate appearances. A lot.
They've done a really good job of not expanding the zone. 8 walks on the day. They have reached base safely. Every single leadoff hitter has reached base in every single inning. That puts a lot of pressure on that defense of Clemson. I feel like they've done a phenomenal job with the bat. And it's something that we were told is something that I have seen, but seeing it in person, boy, 1 through 9. They put up together some really good at-bats.
Nick Frisco, the freshman from New York State, takes over.
Nick 0-0 on the season, 9 ERA, 2 strikeouts. It's a slider, it's a fastball. That fastball 88 to 90 miles an hour. Those are the two pitches that he will use predominantly.
First pitch is a strike to Tyler Howe. It's 0-1. So Howe moved to right field. Carter French entered the game, so he stays in. He's had a good day at the plate, sending the ball the other way like he just did to Nate Savoy, 1 out. Now, I want to go back to what you were talking about with Carolina's offense. I think that's the thing that really stood out to me, seeing them a couple weeks ago, is that the quality of the at-bat is really, really good. And the more they do that, I realize that, Scott Forbes said Friday, he's like, we haven't played all that well in my mind, and yet we're still winning games. So I keep telling the players, imagine what happens if we start playing well. Like I mean, first of all, they're 30-6, so they're playing pretty well, right?
Pretty decent baseball.
You're doing enough right, but there is more in the tank for this offense. And he drew the comparison to last year where the power numbers ticked up in the second half. I just think top to bottom that this is...
It's a quality at bat.
Yeah.
Top to bottom. I mean, really, that's what it is. It's tough on pitchers because you make some good pitches. They're putting the ball in play. It's not loud noise.
In the air to center. And coming in, Clavon collides with Savoy and makes the catch. And center fielder saying, that's my ball. 2 outs. Savoy splits time in the outfield and catcher. Listen, there's not a lot of guys that can cover as much ground as Clavon can.
What you're doing is you're starting to see a little bit of frustration building up too. And I think that for Clavon, he's like, this is not the first time that this is happening. He's like, you got to be able to see that I'm calling it. Remember, center fielder, he's the one that if he calls it, everybody else has to get out of the way. He has priority in the outfield.
Carter French hit by a pitch. So he'll reach with 2 outs, and the lineup will turn over for a 7th time for Jake Schaffner. Well, listen, I understand if Clavon's frustrated. This has been a frustrating first half of conference play for Clemson. Team with very high expectations. They've hosted regionals the last 3 years, hosted a Super 2 years ago. It's been 16 years since this great program has been back to Omaha. So I understand where the frustration is coming from, for sure. I think everybody with Clemson is frustrated.
And a lot, too. I mean, with the Clemson, you look at the defensive side of it. Haven't played the best baseball on the defensive side of baseball this whole entire season. Been better lately.
Schaffner, diving stop by Dillard. He'll have no play. It's an infield single for Schaffner, who's on base again. And that'll bring up Gallagher.
But again, I mean, this is a great play by Dillard to just even get to this. This ball's ticketed to center field. Dillard comes out of nowhere to make the play. I'm glad that he didn't just try to throw it, to try to make something out of nothing, because you weren't going to have a play there at first, and a lot of guys will get up and still try to make that throw, end up throwing it away. The runners end up taking another base. He held it, so that's enough.
Gallagher, a 2-run homer in the first, takes a ball outside, 1-0. The pitch. Inside, it gets away from Jarrell, and the runners will move up to second and third. Now they count 2-0 now to Gallagher. They're going to give Jarrell a pass ball on that. That looks like Robert Nunez is having some issues with his paperwork.
Got a little windy, blew out of his pocket.
I think he's counting mound visits. I think Gerald's going on his way out there to make sure that they had enough to make another visit. You go talk to Fresco. Nunez got his note taken. It was either that or he was looking for his rental car agreement. But all right.
I wonder if we're going to see them at the airport.
See if they need a ride. If you were going to ride to the airport the 2 hours to Charlotte with an umpire, how would you describe the tenor of the line of questioning that you would have for an umpire?
I think it'd be a silent car ride. That's it depends which umpire we're talking about. There's some umpires where I would be pulling over about halfway there and saying, you need to get out and see if you can find your way the rest of the way.
One in particular, I think, that comes to mind, who just retired. There's a strike. It's 2-1.
He's one of them. You got another one that's still out there.
Gabby with his tortured relationship with umpires. Here's the 2-1. On the ground to third. And Fultz will throw him out. The inning is over. Carolina strands a pair. They're 3 outs away from a series win, leading Clemson 12-5. The game has made Clemson fans as blue as the Carolina blue sky. They lead 12-5 as we head to the bottom of the ninth. North Carolina looking for a series victory, likely a top 5 placement, and set things up when the juggernaut that is Georgia Tech comes to the Bosch next week. And for Clemson, a last chance today to get conference victory number 6. They will need a monumental rally against Walker McDuffie. First pitch is a strike. It's 0-1 to Luke Gaffney. Gaffney, an RBI double and a walk. Gaffney, Gerald Lichtenberger. Here comes the 0-1. Off the end of the bat to first. Paulson has it, and he'll take it to the cushion himself. 1 out. McDuffie, after getting into a heap of trouble in the 7th, has really settled down. 40 pitches yesterday. This will be his 30th pitch of this afternoon as he faces Gerald. 1 for 4 today. First pitch to the slugger, outside, 1-0. Jacob Gerald's operation, Gabby, is so quiet, and his juice is so loud.
There's a lot of power in that bat. Showed it last year, showing it off again this year. 13 home runs on the season.
It's just he's so still at the plate for every pitch, and then just explodes through the zone.
Leave something up in the zone. It's going to leave the ballpark.
outside corner a strike. It's 2-1. Sherrill waits. And the pitch. And he drives that one to right. And backing up on it is Howe, making the catch on the terrace. 2 outs. And now North Carolina 1 out away from a series win here in Clemson. They dropped the opener 9-5. It took them 14 innings yesterday to get even in this series. They were down 4-3 in the 9th before tying it. And Scott Forbes is going to make a pitching change here with 2 outs at the bottom of the 9th inning, leading 12-5. Doesn't want McDuffie to go any further.
Yeah, you got to remember that McDuffie threw 40 pitches. Was it yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah.
So with another 33, that's 73 pitches in 2 days. You don't want him to continue to go out there, especially him being one of your main spots in that bullpen.
So that'll do it for McDuffie today. They needed their relief ace on a day where it seemed like they were getting very close to a run rule victory. Tom Shivalewski will come into the game, try and get the last out. Transfer left-hander from Princeton a year ago. Former All-Ivy League selection. And North Carolina getting ready to try and finish this off today. One series completed in the ACC already this weekend. Georgia Tech sweeping Florida State in emphatic fashion. Cal, who came into the weekend with 1 conference win, swept Pittsburgh. Boy, that puts a dent in the Panthers' postseason hopes. They lose 13-2 today. Duke is able to salvage the finale from NC State 3-2. Miami with a big series win over Wake Forest. They win 8-0. Boston College takes a series from Virginia Tech 6-2. And Virginia closing in on a run rule victory over Notre Dame to take that series. They're up 15-5 in the 8th. Another game going on, Louisville, a 4-3 lead over Stanford, bottom of the 7th, in the rubber match of that series. Miami win. We were talking to some of the coaches on the field before the game. They're like, I think Miami's pretty good. Starting to get a little healthier.
Yep.
8-7 at the midway point in league play.
It's going to all come down from Miami. It's going to come down to the pitching.
Yeah.
It's going to come out to starting rotation, and then it's going to come out to bullpen. Hitters, they have. They had guys up and down the lineup with power, guys that could put runs on the board. But at this age, you've got to be able to pitch.
Well, and the question is, I don't think it's whether or not they're going to make a regional, but if they keep winning games and they've been playing better of late, they might find themselves in the hosting mix, which is really interesting. Because the only thing that is better than a regular June is a June with Mark Light shakes.
Sometimes they have some nasty ones.
Well, don't get the nasty ones.
That's the ones that they send up to make us drink because it's funny.
Well, you must have angered somebody when you played at Miami then, because they were very nice to me. 1-1 the count to Tyler Lichtenberger facing Shivalewski with 2 outs, nobody on in the 9th. Fouled away off to the left.
Last time I was there, they gave me one with raw meat, and I said, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever had in my life. I'm not getting the Oreo shake. They're not bringing that one up to me.
You're not bitter about this, though.
I'm so bitter.
I got the Oreo shake. It was great.
It was so, isn't it?
1-2. Called strike 3. Lichtenberger out on strikes. And Shivalewski finishes off a 12-5 North Carolina win as they take the series from Clemson. Impressive all around from the Tar Heels team.
It really was, and it was a complete game by this Tar Heels team, offensively, defensively, on the mound. Only needing 4 guys to finish off this game. Fulcher Boaz, I thought, pitched really well in this ball game, gave his team a chance to win, and they did just that. Offensively, boy, it's fun to watch. Owen Hall, what he was able to do today with 5 RBIs and 5 hits on the ball game, but really it was up and down the lineup. It's a really good team. It's going to be a really fun matchup next week when they're playing against Georgia Tech.
And weekend games of that for the Bosch on ACC Network. It'll be a top 5 matchup next weekend in Chapel Hill. Coming up next, Kevin Fitzgerald, Mike Rooney in High Point, North Carolina for Radford and High Point. We'll join that in progress. For Gabby Sanchez and our crew here in Clemson, I'm Mike Farron. Thanks for joining us. Carolina takes 2 of 3 from Clemson, 12-5 the final.